October 16, 2025 meeting of the Town of Southampton Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting is being held live and also via video conferencing in accordance with the Town Board's enactment of Local Law Number 14 of 2022. Our next meeting, and those following, also will be held here in person at Town Hall and will continue to allow for remote participation, so please keep checking the town's website for updates and any new information. If you wish to view tonight's meeting live meeting only and not participate, please do not join the Zoom meeting and instead go to the town's website for viewing access. With that, I'd like you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For those of you with us here tonight, in case of an emergency evacuation, please exit through the rear doors of this room to one of the staircases located across the hall and continue downstairs and out through the main entrance. Do not attempt to use the elevators during an emergency evacuation. In case of a medical emergency, the automated external defibrillator and first aid kit are both located in the hallway on this floor opposite the elevator. Restrooms are located across the hall from this room. We'll begin this meeting with public hearings. We have applicants and members of the public here with us live and also standing by via Zoom webinar, which is being moderated by CTV. CTV will mute the speakers on Zoom until it's their time to give testimony before the board. Please be patient. If you find you're having difficulties accessing the hearing, visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. Also, for those of you in the boardroom, please silence your cell phones and refrain from speaking to one another as it interferes with the recordings of our proceedings. Tonight, board members Helen Burgess and Julie Kane are participating via Zoom. A reminder that applicants, agents, and members of the public speaking other than attorneys will be sworn in, will state their address for the record, and will offer their testimony as it relates to the application before the board. In order to consider properly every application before us tonight, individuals commenting on a particular application have a time limit of 3 minutes. And I want to emphasize, we welcome comments, but we must adhere to a time limit in order to accommodate all interested in speaking on any application before us. Also, before handing in any submissions to the board tonight, please make sure that documents identify the ZBA application name and tax map number. The application name should also be written on your certified receipts. Unless otherwise stated, at the end of an individual application hearing, all applications will remain open for written comments for all purposes until a set date. Those written comments can be addressed to the members of the board and sent via email, mail, and/or dropped off at Town Hall to the board secretary, Candace Cowell, in the building department. At this time, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of our October 2nd, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. John, would you take us through the agenda, please?
Yes, turning to number 8 on the agenda, application of 2297 Montauk LLC, 2297 Montauk Highway, Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-86-1-3. I move to adjourn the continued hearing on this application to January 15, 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redmond?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Number 11 on the agenda, the application of Ira Schwartz and Bonnie Oglensky, 25C Oakhurst Road, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-191-1-17. This application has been withdrawn. And that's it for alterations of the agenda.
Okay.
Moving to number 1 on the agenda, application of Anthony Adino and Rosemary Adino, 14 Port Elizabeth Drive, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-345-1-2.1. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code. 1, for a proposed wrap-around side and rear addition and rear covered deck, Section 330-6 General Regulations that references Section 330-11 Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for a principal rear yard setback from 70 feet to 56.8 feet, a principal minimum side yard setback from 20 feet to 12.7 feet, and a principal total side yard setback from 40 feet to 32.9 2, for a proposed deck on the south side, Section 330-76D, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts, and Section 330-83C yards, to allow the deck to be located within the required minimum and total side yards for the principal building, and 3, the exterior stair, Section 330-83D yards, for an exterior basement stair that extends 4 feet 9 inches into a required yard where 4 feet is allowed on a non-conforming lot, and any other relief necessary.
Order's jurisdiction, Madam Chair.
Lisa, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Lisa Poyer, Twin Forks Permits, 288 East Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays, New York, 11946. On behalf of the applicant,
Okay, do you want to tell us about this application?
so the plans that you have before you were prepared by John David Rose Architect. The property in question is located in the R40 zone. The lot size is 15,838 square feet. This lot in particular was created as part of a subdivision, which was approved by the ZBA, decision number 9520, dated May 24, 1994, which allowed for the re-subdivision of the two lots, which were actually lots 12 and 14 Port Elizabeth Drive. And had
Is that the one just to the north?
Yes, that had automatically merged, I think by common name ownership, and the ZBA re-subdivided it. Then there was a subsequent modification, that was decision number 9539, dated June 27, 1994, which granted total side yard relief for this lot in question from 60 feet to 40 feet. It was upzoned to the R40 zone.
What was the date on that variance?
June 27, 1994. Those were submitted as part of the original package.
Okay.
All right, so the house on 14 Port Elizabeth Drive is subject property. It was constructed in 2005 by CO number C050383, dated September 21, 2005. And then there was an updated C of O, which was issued December 6, 2017. CO number C170434, which allowed for a single-family, two-story dwelling, unfinished basement, front covered porch, second floor deck rear, attached one-car garage, in-ground pool with code-compliant barrier, as per a Fox Land Surveying survey dated 11/2/17. On that survey, it does show that side deck that is on the south side of the house, that is part of the ZBA application in question, as far as the deck being in the total side yard and in the side yard of the principal structure. So as part of this project, they're looking to do egress stairs to the basement. And so the deck, that, I don't want to say it's a deck, it's a landing to a door, needs to be reconfigured as far as the direction of the stairs that are running, because they right now run to this, the water, they're running, now going to be running to the other direction, and they figure, while we're doing this work, we may as well reconstruct them. So that's part of the variance request before you. Property is at the terminus of Port Elizabeth Drive. To the north, you have a single-family residence. To the south, you have about a 5-foot wide pedestrian access easement to the water. And then below that, you have two single-family residences, because they're kind of just stacked on each other there. The owner is seeking relief from section 330-11 for residential dimensional table for rear yard setback relief, where 70 feet is required, and the proposed residential addition is going to be 56.8 feet. That's a requested relief of 13.2 feet, or 18.8% of the total rear yard. It's less than 25%. The applicant is also seeking relief for the residential addition from the total required setback of side yards from 40 feet down to 28.6 feet. We're asking for relief of 11.4 feet, or 28.5. Then we're also asking minimum side yard setback relief where 20 feet is required, down to 12.7 feet, seeking a 7.3-foot relief, or 36.5%. The existing side yard setbacks are 20.2 and 19.7 to the existing house. So the total is 39.9. Contractor error back then, some measurements, it's close to that 40-foot. We're also seeking relief from 330-76D to allow that existing side access little deck area to be, like I said, reconfigured. That's going to be set back at 15.9 feet. Then the owners are, they were seeking, I guess, allowance for the access stairs to go into the basement. to be, I think it was greater than 4 feet. We're willing to reduce that down to 4 feet so we can take that off the
Need
ZBA.
the 9 inches.
We don't need the 9 inches. I
Got it.
talked to the architect today. They weren't aware of that. They said they can easily move the access stairs and make it 4 feet total to the edge of the retaining wall. So that's coming off the table from the beginning here. The owners are looking to expand their house just for more space for their family, like everybody else out here. It's a 3-bedroom house. They're gonna go to a 4-bedroom house. They are going to do an IA sanitary system upgrade. So as far as the submission that you're given tonight, there's 3 letters of support, one from each of the immediate property owners, the one to the north, and then the 2 property owners to the south in support of the application. And then in the packages, there's a table of all of the properties on Port Elizabeth Drive that kind of go through. There's 13 other properties on Port Elizabeth Drive. 9 of the other properties have other variances issued on their properties. 7 of those have had variances issued for single-family residences for additional setback relief. It's not necessarily the same rear yard, front yard relief, just because this is a waterfront lot, and so the front yard is the water side, the rear yard is the street side. But most of the houses, as you can see, are a front yard setback of around 25 feet. Anywhere from, a couple of them are 40 feet, and they're the corner of Rampasture Road and Port Elizabeth Drive. Otherwise, you have 25 feet, 23.1 feet. One of them is 38, it's a little bit different lot configuration. But if you flip to the second page, the property that is immediately next door to the north that was part of this original subdivision creation is the one that's most comparable to this lot in configuration. That prior ZBA decision granted rear yard setback relief to 52 feet, and we're asking 56.8 feet. So we're asking less setback relief than the house next door. That ZBA decision for the neighboring lot, side yard setback was 9.3 feet. On the nearest, we're asking 12.7. So again, it's less than the neighboring lot, which is a very comparable lot to ours. And then those total side yard setbacks for the 12 Port Elizabeth Drive is 18.6, and we're asking 32.9. So again, significantly less than what we're seeking relief for. But that table kind of gives you just a breakdown of all of the lots on the street in the neighborhood.
So, looking at the letters, this really is very dispositive for me. 15 is the neighbor to the south, correct?
Yes, if you look in the package on the second page, on the, behind the table, is actually a map.
Oh,
It's at the
Fabulous.
back of the table there.
there we go.
That just labels,
In the package you just handed out.
yeah, there's a table on the front, and then the
Table.
third page of that
Yep.
is just a map
Oh, thank you.
that I've laid out the property addresses.
So you have 15, 13, and 12 are all adjacent properties,
Yes,
and they're all in agreement with this application.
correct.
Okay, perfect.
Lisa, you mentioned 28.5 feet. Where, I thought the
That was a
write-up is
total
for
side yard.
total, but you have the write-up here for total side yard of 32.9. And then you just mentioned 28.5, so what's the difference?
Oh, it's 28.5 if we include that side deck. I wasn't sure. So it's 32.9 for just the addition.
For the
If you were to-
principal.
For the principal. If you were to
Okay.
measure it to the side deck that we're proposing, that's 28.6. I wasn't
That's for
sure
the
if that
side deck.
actually
Okay,
counted or not as far as total side yards, or if it's just in the total side yards.
it's probably accessory, right?
Yes.
Right, so it would be a different setback, okay. Okay, I just need a clarification on that.
But the table just shows that over half of the properties on the street have had variances. Some of them have had multiple variances issued for principal as well as accessory structures.
And the properties to the south on the aerial appear to have similar
Yes, similar,
setbacks to their property line.
yes,
Okay.
correct. And all of that, I said, is, like, you can put it in this table here, as just far as a comparison. All the information was from town GIS surveys, or I went and foiled the actual town records, so it's all in town records. And all that information is what's actually attached in the
big
giant package, so you don't have to go searching for it if you needed to review that.
So
Kevin?
which measurement do we base the total side yard on? Does it include that proposed deck?
Well,
That's-
Kathleen, I wanted to ask you, the principal setback is one thing and accessory setback is another. Is the deck considered accessory setback?
Typically, yes.
Yeah,
We
so
can-
the,
But just to be clear, we can reference both in any relief that is granted, so there's no
Okay,
issues going forward.
okay, okay.
Okay.
All right, so I think that that's what we would do, is reference both, just to clarify it, John.
Yes.
Correct? Okay,
I have no problem either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put it on the table as both ways,
This
just
is
so
so
it's
straightforward.
clarify and
Very well laid out with the charts, it's very helpful.
make it known. Did you want me to go through all the balancing test comments?
first of all, Kevin, did
Sure.
you, this is your application, do you have any specific
So,
questions? to ask?
First, I want to thank you for a extremely well-organized presentation that ridiculously followed the very questions that I had in my own mind. So I have less to say for the moment and for the application than I normally would. I actually did look for problems that I had, and I found less than I expected. And I, of course, after we hear any other comments from the public, and I appreciate the letters of support. And I don't think generally anything you're asking for is inconsistent with the adjoining properties right nearby. I appreciate that the pyramid relief was, a request was avoided, that could have been different. And I think the lot is sufficiently placed on the property where the garage, I mean, essentially what you're doing is you're converting the old garage into a partial bedroom with a bump out, and you're putting a new garage in front with some decks in the back.
Correct.
And I think,
The
all-
one story to keep away from pyramid.
yeah, so I think all things considered, I think this is an at-scale, in-community character request.
Thank you.
Notwithstanding any other comments the public may have, and I would have to learn from that. I think I'm okay with most of what's presented.
It seems well landscaped, which we can include in there just to keep it landscaping
Maintain
maintained.
the landscaping?
Yeah.
It seems very well buffered on that, on both sides.
Is there, I think that we don't need to necessarily go through the 5 parts, but if you'd like to, you can go ahead and do that.
I'm just gonna
ahead.
point out that it's a waterfront lot, so in order to keep with environmental influences, we're doing the IA system upgrade, and we're trying to construct on the landward side of an existing house, so we're not encroaching any closer to the water, so that distinguishes itself from some of the other properties along Port Elizabeth Drive, other than those 2 other waterfront lots where they themselves would have to kind of adhere to wetland standards. We do have a letter of non-jurisdiction from the DEC. It is a fully bulkheaded property, and we're just waiting for Environment Division to issue their letter of non-jurisdiction.
Okay, so you know that we wait for that before we
Sure,
grant the
that's fine.
variance. But that can be done as written.
Okay.
Is there anybody else from the board who wishes to comment on this application? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on 14 Port Elizabeth Drive? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard?
No one on Zoom.
Okay, Kevin, this is yours.
Okay. I'm going to suggest, I'm going to make a motion to close this hearing with accepting comments to 11:07, with a decision for 11:20.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redmond?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Votes aye. Okay, thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Number 2 on the agenda, application of John Abrun and Ghazala Abrun, 7 Wild Duck Lane, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-125-1-28.3. Pursuant to Town Code Section 330-165A, Appeals on Interpretation of Zoning Law and Map, the applicants appeal the determination of the building inspector dated November 4, 2024, that the R40 zoning district regulations apply to the subject property.
What is jurisdiction, Madam Chair? Oh, I apologize.
We don't. Second call.
We will second call that. Number 3 on the agenda, application of Christopher Stubelek and Blythe Payne, 10 Duval Drive, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-295-1-13.1. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed accessory apartment. 1, Section 330-11.2F, Special Standards, to allow an accessory apartment to be located on a 26,136 square foot lot where a minimum of 30,000 square feet is required. And 2, Section 330-11.2G, minimum and maximum sizes to allow the size of the accessory apartment to be 371 square feet where a minimum of 400 square feet is required, and any other relief necessary. You can come and sit down.
No, not just yet.
Oh,
Okay, she hasn't got me, I gotta see if I can find her note.
do I call number 4?
No, he's not here yet.
Okay.
Susanna's giving number 5.
Number 5, second call on number
Okay,
3.
number 4. Number 3, second call. Number 4, second call. Number 5, application of U&A Riverhead Realty LLC, 7 Baconic Avenue, Riverside, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-118-2-4. Do I have to, this is re-advertised, should I read the whole thing? Oh, God. Hang out. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code to legalize the following signs installed without the benefit of a building permit. 1, canopy sign, Section 330-205H, general provisions. For a sign with internally illuminated logo along the 3 side edges of the canopy with a height of 33 inches where canopy signs and logos are limited to the edge of the canopy bib with a maximum height of 6 inches. 2, Section 330-207A, illuminated signs for 3 internally illuminated signs with illuminated logo along each of the canopy sides in a village business zoning district where internally illuminated signs are only allowed in highway business zoning districts. And 2, section freestanding dual pole price sign, Section 330-103 corner clearance to allow a dual pole freestanding sign over 2 feet in height to be located within the triangular corner clearance area. Section 330-206A zoning districts to allow an interior illuminated dual pole freestanding price sign exceeding 26 square feet in total area. To allow an interior illuminated dual pole freestanding price sign with a total height of 17 feet 8 inches where a maximum of 10 feet in height is allowed. To allow an interior illuminated dual pole freestanding price sign of front yard setback of 1.3 feet where 20 feet front yard setback is required, and to allow an interior illuminated dual pole freestanding price sign constructed of aluminum where such signs shall be made only of wood and wood appearing material. Section 330-207A to allow an interior illuminated dual pole freestanding price sign located in VB zoning where internally illuminated dual pole illuminated signs are only allowed in HB zoning, and to allow an interior illuminated dual pole freestanding price sign to display digital pricing where internally illuminated signs shall only be constructed with an opaque background, translucent letters, and a white light sources. Section 330-210B, miscellaneous provisions, and Section 330-210.1B2D, design guidelines to allow an interior illuminated dual pole freestanding price sign to display additional wording Lotto ATM and Food Mart in addition to the name of the business, and Section 330-205B2, general provisions to allow an interior illuminated dual pole freestanding price sign to remain within the corner clearance and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction, Madam
Got it.
Chair.
Interior illuminated dual pole freestanding price sign. That's what it's about, guys. Did you hear that?
Okay, anybody object?
No, wait, let me swear you in. All right. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Susanna Herman, N Consultants, 1319 North Sea Road, Southampton. This is the application of U&A Riverhead Realty LLC. The property is located at 7 Peconic Avenue in Riverside, which is at the traffic circle, in case you're unfamiliar. It's at the corner where it meets Flanders Road. The property is 20,895 square feet. The property has been a gas station since prior to 1957. I thought the CO number was a typo. It's Certificate of Occupancy number 2, issued in the town of Southampton,
Save that.
right? Frame it. So this property has been a gas station for a very long time, and the signs in question have all been there in some form of another for a very long time. They've been replaced as the property has changed from, let's see, it's been a Gulf, a Valero, a Citgo, and now a 76. I don't know what it was back in 1957, but the signs have always been there in one form or another. The freestanding price sign has been there since at least 1974. The property did receive site plan approval in 1974 to modernize it from the pre-1957 gas station to basically its current form now. That was 1974. And then in 2001, it got another site plan approval to add the convenience store. There was a variance issued in 1984 for the canopy signs and also for the convenience store to be located there. And that also references the existing freestanding price sign. So there's a lot of documentation that that sign has been there in that location since at least 1974, where it was existing. 1984, it was existing, and it's on the site plan approval from 1974. So there are 3 types of signs on this property that require our discussion and variance. Before I address the freestanding sign, the canopy signs, because they're the first listed on that description of the property that you just read. The canopy, and, oh, Candace, I have photos that I'm gonna submit.
I need 3.
You need 3.
And if you hand it up, so.
So, the canopy,
Are these pre-existing also?
the canopy, I don't know if it was there in pre-1957, but it's been approved previously. It was part of the 1984 variance. So back then, I think that's when it was.
And it was approved as you're requesting.
Yes. At that point, the variance refers to illumination on 4 sides of the canopy. This is the canopy, this section here. That was approved in '84, illuminated at the current dimensions. Now that it's changed to a 76 gas station, they've replaced that with this is called a bug. So they replaced that. There used to be, a different emblem, and this is different colors. But it's the same
I
structure.
assume it's their trademark, whatever. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And they're required by the corporate office as a franchise holder to adhere to the signage, the colors, they give them the Pantones they have to use. There's not a lot of variability. In fact, I have a letter which I can hand out from the corporate office. I'll hand that in. Which says that. So we expect.
We'll take that, we'll take that letter.
So I think the canopy that we are trying to get approved, the zoning board in 1984 approved the exact same thing, except on 4 sides. Now we're asking for 3 sides. It's bigger than the current zone would allow. Also because we're in the village business zoning district, illuminated canopy signs are not allowed. Across the street is highway business zoning, and they're allowed in that district. Like I said, it's been a gas station since 1957, or prior to 57, and this canopy has been there since the 70s.
And it was illuminated?
So, keep going. Go ahead.
Let's take it one at a time. Let's take the canopy, and then we can move on. Okay, so if you have questions about the canopy, let's,
Well, only that, I'm reviewing this in the context of a few other things that mattered, so it's not just about this application. So there's a Riverside Revitalization Plan, there's other applications that are pending in very near proximity. We have to review them, their signage requirements and things like that. We got a lot of comments from the neighbors the community, the supervisor in the town of Riverhead. We haven't received comments from the Riverhead Town Supervisor on this yet. I expect they'll be very similar. And the concerns are consistent, which is excessive lighting, tacky, East Meadow, Hempstead Turnpike style gas station designs. And insofar as, 76 Corporation may wish that all their gas stations look like that, but there's no golden arches in the town of Southampton yet. So that issue has long been settled. You have your presentation to do, but I just thought I'd give you a fair warning that some of that's not flying for me.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but as I understand it, Kevin, the canopy signs structurally were the same that were approved in 84, including the illumination, is that
Correct.
correct? Okay,
Correct.
so all
And-
you're asking for is, because you're changing the name.
Right.
You're not asking for an increase in size or putting in illumination where you didn't have it before?
Correct.
Okay.
Just colors and logos. That's it.
Just colors and logos, and I think the application itself includes pictures from when it was the previous, it was Valero, it was Sitco. I mean, they're not great pictures, because not a lot of people go around taking pictures of gas stations. So it's hard to find, but yeah, you can see the Sitco, it's the same. The Valero, all we have is an aerial, but you can clearly see that it's there.
How long has 76 been there?
I'm not sure. I think the property owner was planning to be here, but
Okay. And 76 is there now?
76 is there now.
Okay. So this is what we're approving?
Right.
76 is,
They're not proposing to change. We've been trying to get approval from the building department for the last 3 years for these signs, so I'm gonna say
Yeah.
at least 3 years.
But they've been up.
Actually, I could tell you.
I
'cause-
know anecdotally, because I'm in the area, and so are you,
Right.
every day, that
they're up.
they've been there for easily
Yeah.
more than 5 years.
Hold on. Change of tenancy, they went to the building department and got the change of tenancy to 76, June 8th, 2022.
Oh, 2022, okay.
I mean, I don't know if that's when they actually did it, but that's when that was officially approved.
Often the change of tenancy comes after you get the fire marshal comes and tells you you need it.
Right, so
Yeah.
but it was some time around
Yeah.
that. It could have been 2020.
I believe it's been there since before the COVID lockdown, but that's just me. Kevin, there is a letter from the Riverhead Town Supervisor in our submittals.
Oh, on this too?
Yeah,
Okay. Did we
on
just-
this,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm assuming it's the
I
same
just happened
main-
to go through it and I
I'm
haven't.
assuming it's the same main points as the one on, yeah, okay.
I would love to get a copy of that, if possible.
Do you have that?
And
I don't have
I can't put my hand on it immediately,
We'll
but
get that to you.
I think it was given to us.
I have it right here. I'll ask Candace if we can get you a copy.
Suzanne, if I could also just, I know you have to go through your presentation and you're going to make the case for things that have been around for a while, and I just ask you to consider as you go through that. Nothing ever gets better if you just perpetuate something that might have existed 50 years ago. And in an area where the revitalization effort that's underway, that's trying to be made in Riverside, and if there's an appropriate time for Anthony to comment on whether this design presently, as presented with the variances, is consistent with what you understand to be the Riverside redesign, or, what is it, form-based code and things like that. I'd appreciate knowing that when Suzanne is done and we're done having questions. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I will, in response to your concerns, I would say it's a fairly aesthetically pleasing gas station as gas stations go. There's not a lot of exterior signage. It's a neat property. There's not trailers all over the place or additional businesses going on in the back that, we often see. So I think that the property owners are very conscientious, and they're trying to make everything conform. And like I said, they've been trying to get these signs approved since 2022. And
Well, let's go through the rest
So,
of it.
yeah.
So that was the
so that's the
canopies.
canopies.
If I could just ask one thing, so, when was this always zone village business? Was there a change, and that 84 approval, was that under village business zoning?
I don't know.
See, that would be I would be interested to know that. And I just have one other comment, relevant to that little conversation we're just having is that, like, really, when we get into the factor's going to be, is it a change to the character of the community? On that circle are numerous gas stations, and as you noted, across the street is highway business, and they have illuminated signs. So does that change the character of the community? I think that's something we're going to have to think about as we go through this.
Okay.
I would argue, obviously, no.
Of course. You are.
And if you look at the whole of Landers Road, there are several gas stations. They all have illuminated signs.
Okay, let's go to the freestanding sign.
Okay, so that's the canopy. The next issue is the freestanding price sign. So it's been there in some form, not its current form, since 1974 at least. The current so it's got several nonconformities. It's 1.3 feet from the property line where 20 is required. It is, however, approximately 15 feet from the pavement, from the road. In this traffic circle area, there was, I guess, in 2020, they redid the sidewalks and the brick and everything, and, this is what it looks like now. You've got this brick extension with the sidewalk within it, and then they've, really beautified that area. So the sign didn't move. There's no way to move it to be 20 feet from the property line. It would be in the middle of the driveway. It would impede vehicular access to the pumps, or to the dispensers, I should say. So, it's in the location where it's always been. It is within the corner clearance, area. However, because this is on the traffic circle, it's never impeding anyone's sight line when they're making a turn. It never creates an unsafe condition. The driveway to the east side is entrance only. You can't exit that way. You can't turn left. I mean, that would be maybe a factor because it's close to that driveway. You can't turn left there because of the median in the middle of the street. Most of the entering is going to be from this entrance to the east, or coming from Main Street area over here. And the sign is on the opposite side of the property from there. So if you look at where it's located relative to people entering and exiting or driving around the corner here, it's never impeding anyone's line of sight turning in or out of the gas station.
Does it face flush? I mean, it's not sideways, right? So it wouldn't block anybody's view? It looks like it's sideways. Yeah. Yeah, no, and you say that doesn't impede anybody's?
No, because if you're going towards the traffic circle, no one's coming from that direction. If you're going into it, you're turning before you get there. If you're exiting, you're
I get it.
exiting
I see what you're
over
saying, yeah.
on Peconic Avenue up to the.
Is the only thing you need, is it the distance that's the issue, or are there other design
There's more
aspects?
issues.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, but
yes,
it's
okay.
corner clearance.
No, I understand that, okay.
Right.
So just going through, it's
Yep,
the distance from the property line, the street property line, which is only 1.3,
yep,
so it should be 20. There's the corner clearance,
yep.
which is based on, assuming you had a corner.
Yeah, a square corner,
A square
right.
corner,
Yep,
and
yep,
you
yep.
were trying to turn in or out,
Mm-hmm.
would the sign, that law is put in place to prevent signage or a structure blocking your view when you're making a right-hand turn or left-hand turn. It's not an issue here because of the way that this traffic circle and the medians and no one is going to need to be seeing cars coming towards them and have the sign blocking their view, because there's no cars coming from that direction.
I was there today, actually getting gas, looking at everything for tonight's meeting, so I take your point.
Okay, good. So I think that's one variance that I think the board can be comfortable understanding that this is a unique situation and that the corner clearance issue is not a safety issue at all.
If I may, only
Please,
because we
please.
saw some information that this board asked about. So when the variance in 84 was granted, at that time, it was village business zone. Just prior to that, though, in 83, it was highway business zone. So, when the decision was made to do the variance in the village business zone, did that come into play, that it was, a prior?
That it
I
happened,
have no idea.
yeah, just
but
a year
It was in
before.
HB, and then it went to VB, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Candace. Candace was looking that up now.
That was,
And
thank you
Kathleen's
for
got
that
it as well.
My
clarification.
line.
We're so good here.
Oh, is it actually on the variance?
It's on, yeah, the cover sheet for the
It
variance.
does say. Okay,
Okay,
so that's good. I think that counts in our favor.
Yeah, that's very good.
So,
And was the freestanding sign also in 1984?
yes, it actually references it in the, do you have that right in front of you?
Oh, yeah, it says it right there.
Yeah, I do.
Um,
It's October 19th, 1984, ZBA decision number 7174, permission to replace 5 prior BP signs with Northville and 2 company logos on each of 4 corners allowed to remain on canopy. Also, a price sign on existing ID pole with the condition that a sign permit is applied for and complies with criteria set forth in a previous code 69-14C
So that's referencing the freestanding.
price
Okay.
sign.
and the
Yes.
canopy.
So, since that time, the facade of that sign has been changed to its current 76 configuration, which you see in the photos. That's passed up.
I'm looking at a photo on Google Maps from 2 years ago, and it says Food Mart, but not Lotto ATM.
Okay,
So when was Lotto ATM added?
I don't know. So one of the conditions of one
Or
of
no,
the.
that's it, you know what?
Underneath it.
Strike that, it's a different location. Sorry.
Okay, good.
Like Emily Latella, never mind.
Okay, that's good.
Different location.
I think it's, it says food mart on the one on the bottom, the grass is blocking
So
it.
one of the conditions of, hold on one second. One of the approvals, and right now I'm trying to remember if it was that 84 variance or previous variance. When they allowed, I'm sorry, it was the later variance, 1999, there was another variance to allow the expansion of the convenience store. And one of the conditions of that variance was that there not be that, okay, so this is May 6, 1999. A variance was also issued for this property for the convenience store to be added. And it was conditioned upon the prohibition of any sign advertising convenience, retail, or country store on premises. So I think this board could make the argument that the Food Mart sign as well as the Lotto ATM signs are counter to that. And I've talked to the property owner. They're willing to remove those 2 lower parts of the sign.
So they're willing to remove the Lotto?
The Lotto, ATM,
the-
and the Food Mart.
Okay.
Which reduces the size of the sign. So then the next nonconformity with this freestanding price sign is the size of the sign. As I said, they just changed the facade, so the insert where it says 76 and has the prices and has this Lotto and Food Mart. That was just changed from the previous sign. But that's more than 26 square feet. The maximum freestanding sign size for village business is 26 square feet. Currently, we are at, I think, 75, more or less, square feet.
Without the Lotto and the Food Mart.
That's with the Lotto and the Food Mart.
Okay, so if you were to remove that, do you know what the square footage would
That,
be?
I think that would take about 15 feet off. So we'd go from 75 square feet to 60 square feet by removing that. So
Could you-
that's,
Could you do better?
Yeah, that's what we're doing now.
I mean, I have less of an issue with the distance based on the explanation we just had. And unless Anthony says we have that wrong, but the size kind of matters. And
And the height.
the height, yes.
Yeah,
The
I
next
mean-
thing is the height, it's 17.8, or 17 feet 8 inches, where 10 feet's allowed. And again, this was just changed from the previous iteration of what was there. I don't know at what year it changed, or it became the current height. I'm assuming it was the same height in 74 and 84, but I can't verify
I
that.
mean, if you're taking out the Lotto and the Food Mart, is there a way to reduce the height of the sign?
I don't think it would be easy. I can look into that. I think it'd be very expensive.
What, to cut the legs and just dig them, put them in again?
It's probably electric running up it and all that. But, and also the landscaping is there, was that part of the requirement? Because that seems to be why the sign is a little higher, because you have
Yeah,
grass.
but if you
growing.
took off the two bottom things, you could definitely bring it down. It's
I can
worth
look-
an inquiry.
I can look into it. One thing that we're required to do by the building department is bring it into compliance with the 130 mile per hour hurricane wind zone that we're in. So we've submitted to the building department engineering plans to retrofit the existing sign to be hurricane compliant, which is not that difficult. I mean, the engineers come up with a way to do that. So I can look into what would be involved
Okay, that would be helpful.
in making it lower. I think that the price sign with the logo, that's the minimum that, corporate gave us, or gave the owner, a whole booklet of the different standard layouts that they're supposed to use. This is the smallest one. The 5 foot wide sign is the smallest one that the corporate office allows as part of their.
Off the New York Thruway, I understand a sign that big. It's just not necessary.
Oh, the ones for freeway locations
sure that's
are.
a party.
You've probably seen the one with the big ball. That's fun.
We don't need to.
We're not going
We're not
there.
gonna consider a giant
No, we're
ball.
not, right.
We appreciate your humor.
But I can, I have an extra copy of this that I can submit as well. So there's the height, there's the square footage of the size of the sign. And the fact that it's an aluminum where wood or wood appearing material is required. I don't think it makes any sense to change the aluminum to a wood support. It seems like an unnecessary expense. It's the same sign supports that were previously approved that have been there for a long time. So I.
Okay,
and it's
Susan,
better-
I have a question, if I may.
of course.
So, ma'am, sorry I'm not present, but anyhow, you've mentioned a couple of times that corporate has given guidelines or requirements for what the advertising and marketing, whatever you want to call it, has to look like. And given the fact that these are pre-existing non-conformists, can you help me understand, if you know, or let us know in a submission, what would happen if the applicant simply had to say to corporate, we can't get there?
So I have a letter which I will submit from corporate stating that there would be financial repercussions, or at least potential fines.
So can you let us know what those would be in some specificity, because that might influence decision-making and thinking?
I can find out more information, but the letter that, that 76 provided said failure to comply with these requirements may result in non-compliance penalties as part of the Excellence in Action program. So that's not very specific, but I assume that the penalties would be financial. See if I can find more clarity on that.
And I'd like to know if they're continuing.
The
If it's a
penalties?
penalty, like you get one penalty and that's it, or is it a continuing penalty for a period of, for the entire period that you're out of compliance? And I have a
Okay.
feeling that
Is the
that's probably
penalty
what it
based
is.
on the desires of the store owner, or is it a penalty that is it a penalty in spite of a zoning ordinance that requires a certain design type? This is a well-settled issue in other communities, and I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time on it. You gotta comply with the
I
zoning
think that's a
code.
very good point. Is it, right?
And
If, given that the zoning would not allow for it, is the penalty still
This is a
imposed?
crazy conversation.
It says may, doesn't say must, so it's, zoning doesn't
Okay,
allow
so
it, I don't see them
we
finding
need to
that.
understand that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try to get more clarity on that for you.
Someone
Okay.
asked that.
I'll give you a copy of the letter.
Okay, any other observations from the board at this point? I mean, I think you have a couple of things to come back to us with.
Well, there's
yeah.
another issue with respect to the freestanding price sign.
Okay, go ahead.
And that is that it is illuminated.
Yes,
And
and we talked about the illumination on the canopies, and across the way was the highway business versus the village business, so I would assume that the freestanding.
And the 84 variance allowed for illuminated, correct?
It was HB then, right?
It was HB, but did allow
When-
for,
Well, you guys did the variance when it was in the
ZB.
ZB zone, it was just prior to the zoning considering it
Right,
was
right.
HB zone. To Kevin's point, so let me just speak first. This particular application isn't being referred to the planning board. Signs get a little weird unless there's a master sign plan, unless the site plan specifically says it. Once a CO is issued, it's left to the architectural review board and, in this case, so I'm not speaking on behalf of the planning board. I just want to be very clear about that. A lot of what you get about this property, you want to see a new design, and you get all sorts of, it looks like East Meadow. Absent someone coming in to do something to the building, there's very little that we could ultimately do unless someone, it's an applicant-driven process. So they got to come in order for the planning board to really weigh in on very, very specific design elements and everything else. So what I was going to say, because I understand we're working on, the overlay district and everything else, and it's easier to have planning comments when I have a project in front of me that I could look at a whole design. What I was going to suggest is I don't think you're gonna redesign this whole site. Previous ZBA, decisions, I think we gotta, look at this, with the understanding of where, it is on the traffic circle, what the zoning is. But I was going to say to Susanna, chip this down somehow, you know what I mean? It seems like, I'm glad that you said the lotto sign, the ATM, those are the things that drive the planning board crazy. If you, want to understand, we can make some wiggle room for illumination, and that kind of stuff. The height, here's what I'm gonna suggest. Look into, what height is that now?
17.
What was it, we're talking about, there was a number, I heard 10. Did someone
10
say
is the height,
10 is the height.
allowable height.
allowable height?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one across the circle seems higher, and I know that maybe different zoning, I get.
Maybe different zoning. I mean, I haven't been to this site in a while. I'm sure I've driven by it 72 times, but I haven't, stopped there. It might be worth me, if you gotta make a submission anyway, for me to go there and take a look to see if I can make some more, concrete suggestions, see what I think.
Yeah, I think-
This board could legally do with this
I
application.
think you're hearing from the board that there's concern about the height. We
Take this down,
appreciate taking away
shrink that and move it all
the
back.
square footage still may be larger than, would be allowed, but I think that we're looking at ways to mitigate,
To lower it.
I guess
Same as
there
we do with
is,
7-Eleven across the.
yeah, and I guess there's not as much concern about illumination,
So,
picking that up.
so the building department is, telling us that the illumination of the actual prices, the LED electronic pricing,
Yeah,
where are my
Right.
photos? Is not something that they allow. However, yeah, so what was there previously was the kind of sign where, in the same structure,
yeah,
the proprietor had to go out with the numbers and
Change the
go up on a
numbers,
ladder and change them. And he fell off the ladder and got hurt. And so all the gas stations in the world are now using these LED prices.
And they also changed their prices to compete with
It's
the, yeah.
apparently twice a day sometimes the gas prices change. That's what I've read.
It's just
And it's-
competitive driven.
And it's done by remote control. No one has to go up. It's, I think, a lot safer. It's a lot easier to use for the driver driving by. If you drive up and down Flanders Road or on any of our roads, I think you'd be hard pressed to find many gas stations that don't have the LED lighting. There's one on Flanders Road that has the lighting as described in the code with white lighting with opaque background and clear or transparent numbers. And you can't read it at night. My staff who live on the North Fork drive by all these gas stations every night driving home, and we talk about this all the time because of this application. And they're like, you can't see it if it's like this. And you also can't find many that aren't LED. So,
Well, I never focused on that personally, but I'd like to focus on that a little bit more and do a little bit of a survey of, yeah.
I would love for you to drive around town.
Yeah, I would like to take a
And
look
look
at
at
that.
the
But you know,
gas
part of the
stations.
problem is that we live with the code. And, you know, this may be the kind of thing that needs to go to the town board and a change of code as opposed to, you know, we're often confronted with these things and we're kind of like, you know, trying to,
In 2025, it doesn't make sense to have somebody up on a ladder changing the numbers.
No, it does not.
And this is more energy efficient.
yes, no, I understand. But you
Safer.
understand, we're dealing with the code versus
Right.
trying to change the code,
I
so,
don't know what year the code, the section was written, but
okay.
I agree it should be updated.
It's something
So-
to consider.
I'd also like to know when that was installed.
The LED?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I can find that out for you.
So I'd ask you to consider, you know, you can do a lot with photo manipulation as opposed to actually building a 5-foot sign and then coming in and showing us a picture of it. And, you know, I think you can have no trouble reducing the size of the sign and we can discuss what it should be made of. I was there today, and the one island you described, I think, is well landscaped. The center island, it looks pretty beat up.
Okay,
And if you look at the Food Mart building picture that you showed us, I don't know if that's, some of that looks pretty beat up too. So, and again, and I have a slightly more expanded view of this. You know, you're in here asking for variances on behalf of this applicant, and I remember the hearing only a few days, a couple of meetings back, where much of the community was talking about doing anything that makes the place look a little bit better than it is. And the place is the whole traffic circle, right? And I was around when the Tirecraft building got acquired and torn down and converted into a park, and that was a party as far as most of the community was concerned, because it's always been blighted and it's always been a struggle. So we're doing our best to sort of improve the conditions, make the code as compliant as possible, and grant reasonable relief where a good case can be made. And I just think I have a little more work to do. And it's not insensitive to the history. I understand all that. But if the history was the basis for it, then it would always look the same as it did from 1957, which is exactly the point that people are complaining about.
Yeah, no, Kevin makes a good point.
I'm sure that the owners would be happy to improve the landscaping.
I would think.
Yeah, that's not gonna be an issue. So anything like that, I'm sure they would be happy to do that.
Well, but the only wrench in that, to me, is the fact that there is a variance granted in 1984 when this was Village Business District. That's the only wrench in the works for me. My question is, what was approved? And so, you know, looking at these two variances from 74, which I would say notes highway business zone in 1974, and then we moved 10 years later and it's village business. The 74 variance refers to an attachment. Special exception to modernized premises necessitating variances granted with qualification C attached. But there's nothing. And then the 84, price sign on existing ID pole with the condition that a sign permit is applied for that complies with the criteria set forth in da-da-da-da-da. So one problem that I have with the 84 variance is it says on existing ID pole. ID pole is one pole, not two poles. So I'm wondering what was approved in that application. Is there any way to find that? I don't know how far back our records go.
Well, they're not always great.
Right.
We did foil the building department records. We got photos from, I think these photos are from 1998. It's when, and I can put this together in a letter to you so that it's better documented. But John, if you want to, I mean, the Sitco,
Are those in, oh,
no, this is separate. I couldn't really format this well, so I thought I would just hand it in if you needed to see. You can see it's tall, but it's a single pole.
but it is a single pole.
Yeah, I believe that's probably
What was
there.
approved?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, I mean, that changes things.
Yeah, the
to
one
a
across
certain-
the circle is a single pole also.
It was a single pole with a big sign on the top with the Sitco logo and then the prices.
But I don't have any dimensions of
Flanders
that.
Road, if you go a little east, 76 has another gas station.
Mm-hmm.
It appears that that sign
Looks
is
like
about
that.
10 feet.
About 10 feet high?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
much shorter.
it's much shorter.
Okay.
Same vendor, same, it was right up Flanders Road, going east.
Well, the
Okay.
most interesting thing about these signs is that the most real estate on the sign is taken up by the giant 76 ball logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they could swoosh the logo, you would lose. It's a third of the sign.
Well, the other
A
thing is,
small panel.
the testimony you heard from the other hearing, which is relevant to this, is, this is not like you pulled into a community you've never been at, and you don't even know where you are, and this tells you it's the gas station. And the testimony from the other hearing was 75% of the cars driving through here are repeat car drivers on their way from one place to another. And if they repeat for that purpose, they repeat for this purpose. So it's not like 76 is all over the property. You can't possibly miss that it's a gas station, and it's a 76 gas station. So the question to you that you're raising is, make the sign smaller, take the other things out, lower the sign, and you're close to complying, and we're talking about how it's made.
Right, and
what
it's
the
better than that
distance is.
Sitco sign, because that Sitco sign appears to be much taller, and it's
Yep.
like something you see as you're driving down, like I-95.
Hard to read.
Right.
So,
Okay,
I think aesthetically, the existing sign looks
it's better.
better.
Yes, now,
Absolutely,
yes, now it
hands
does.
I'm
down.
sorry, I have one more issue that we have to.
Okay, let's move it along.
This is an interpretation, appeal to the interpretation of the building inspector regarding the signage on the dispensers themselves. So if you look at the actual dispenser itself, the building department has taken the position that the 76 on the dispenser, the pump, is a sign and is prohibited. However, if you read the code, the section 330 203 an exemption to when a sign permit, exemptions and prohibited signs. So exemption to when a sign permit would be needed would be at gasoline and service stations, integral graphics or attached price signs on gasoline pumps and auxiliary service signs, e.g. air, water, restroom, state inspections, not exceeding 2 square feet, or any other signs required to be posted pursuant to federal or state law. So if you look at every dispenser at every gas station in town, you will see logos and graphics in the lower section of the dispenser area. So
Well, there's also an attachment, it looks like pricing on the side. That's the black on the side, to the right?
yes, so
That's unusual.
well, that's specifically listed in what I just, as, attached price signs on gasoline pumps are exempt.
Okay.
So
So what are they
our-
objecting to, the big 76 on the top, or the 76 on the bottom, or
The
both?
76 on the bottom.
Bottom.
Okay,
I don't mind the dual clause.
okay.
That interpretation for the building department, I hear you.
Yeah.
Bring down the height.
Has been consistent. I had this issue with variances that came before this board. Bola, for example, they wanted to put the little Bola thing there. The planning board said no outright. So the planning board's taken the position that
Okay.
that is signage.
Okay, so they've been
76.
consistent.
76 is signage, that's signage.
All right, so it's not the 76 on
I'm
the
saying
top.
that that's been
Planning board's not
consistent.
allowing
Well,
the,
the planning board would, if it was a site plan
But
application that
it's
came to
not.
us, we
Right.
would reject that.
Okay, so that's, they seem to be consistent, the building department and the planning seem to have recognized that that's not,
That's just the way it's been. I'm not saying you shouldn't interpret it one way or the other, but that's the way the interpretation.
But Suzanne, there's no problem with the 76 logo at the top of the dispenser? Or is that an issue
that
too?
was,
I think it's all an issue.
It's- I think
yeah,
that's
I would think so too.
yeah.
Because it gets to Kevin's point. We had this with the 7-Eleven. You don't need to say 76 on every single surface of the
It's
property.
too matchy.
It's just too much.
Right.
I
It's
challenge,
orange to boot.
I challenge you to find a dispenser
Yeah.
in town that doesn't have,
You're probably right about that.
Yeah.
I hear you. It's, you know.
But that's more of a graphic. I mean, it seems to me like if you had the orange without the 76, you probably would have no problem. It wouldn't be a sign, it would just be a color.
color.
And you would
Yeah,
have
I think
the,
that's a good point, John.
yeah. And that would be, and the thing there is that would be in keeping with the brand. So maybe that's what they could do. Do they have the applique that just has orange?
Orange, I don't know, that's,
Well, that's another question to be looked at.
okay.
All right, it seems like we have a lot of things to look at. Before we move on, I do want to ask if anybody is in the audience who wishes to be heard on 7 Peconic Avenue. Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard? Oh, I'm sorry. You wish to be heard? Okay, come forward.
Yes, that's the owner.
Would like a copy of the
Be on Zoom.
Riverhead Town Supervisor's letter. That was in our
Okay,
submissions. She hasn't
are you
gotten
an
it.
attorney?
No,
Okay, so let me swear you in.
What?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, please state your name and address.
Sure. First name is spelled Amer, A-H-M-E-R.
M-E-R, okay.
Last name is Ilahi, I-L-A-H-I.
Okay.
So I mean, Mr. Zoom was the person?
A-H-M-E-R.
A-H-M-E-R?
Okay.
Minute, Susanna?
Sure. Yeah, everybody else messed up their mailings.
Okay,
So we got-
all right, so,
So, yeah, you got a little earlier.
no problem, sorry.
You know, we've been through, you've probably missed a lot of the
I did.
discussion, and we have a bunch of things that we're asking Suzanne to come back and
Sure.
explain to us. We talked about the canopies, we talked about the freestanding sign. We're very interested in reducing the size, eliminating the ATM and the lotto in the convenience store, but reducing the size, bringing it down perhaps. She's gonna look into all of this as to whether it's doable or not. On the dispensaries themselves, the gas things, we talked about removing the 76 because there's a feeling that it's well-known it's a 76 gas station, just perhaps leaving the orange, which was John's suggestion.
And also look into what's at the top as well, to the extent that that's a sign.
So she'd be able to fill you in on some of this stuff, so we don't want to go through the whole thing again,
no,
but is
it's
there
all
any
just-
kind
I mean,
of
as I
comments
said-
that you wanted to?
Yes, I'll make it,
Looking like Times Square.
No, no, it's okay, we understand. And obviously, everybody that has been to any kind of a gas station knows that, again, a lot of these things are what the brand standards are. Mobil has its own brand standards, Shell has their own standards, and these things are not, they're standard-wise anywhere in America that you go. And I think every corporation does these things to standardize everything across every industry. Same thing, McDonald's, Burger King, you see a golden arches and you know it's a McDonald's, you don't even have to write it. So obviously Susanna will fill me in. I've been operating at that site for now nearly 20 years, and everything as far as the building, the dispensers, the ID sign, has been exactly like that for the last 20 years. So the ID sign, I know the height and stuff. So nothing has been changed since at least I've been operating that business. And obviously, I'm a small business owner. I go there 6-7 days a week. There is a cost associated with everything, as you understand, and costs have, ballooned over the, last probably 5 or 6 years. So obviously, Susanna.
And
I will
she's going to
discuss
look
it.
into
Sure.
the costs and present some information to
sure,
us
sure,
about
sure.
that, which we'll take into consideration in our,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
our.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's not a
no,
problem.
we understand what your concerns are, and we did go through the 1984 variants and stuff like that. So we have a good sense, but I think, Suzanne, you know what you need to come back to us with, and I think at this point, it probably would call for an adjournment and have you come back. I did ask if anybody was on Zoom, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have anybody else who wishes to be heard on this matter.
So this is mine, but
This
Ken,
is-
we're into next year, right?
Well, you could bring
December
them back.
4th? Okay. 12/4?
12/4, yeah.
12/4? So we're gonna hold it open, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna hold it open and adjourn the public hearing until December 4th.
Second.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Ritter?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Is anybody here on the
Okay,
others?
thank
Back to
you.
three?
It was
Thank you
a
for your time.
complicated, it
So
was
do
a
you own the-
complicated
do you own the two
presentation. You did a good
76s
job.
that are a little bit east of there on Spanish Road? One of them has the sign. It's about 50 feet in compliance.
So obviously,
Okay, yeah. Bring it up next time.
We'll talk about it next time.
Calling number 2 on the agenda, the application of John Abrun and Gazala Abrun, 7 Wild Duck Lane, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-125-1-28.3, pursuant to Town Code Section 330-165A, appeals on interpretation of zoning.
John, I'm sorry.
She's not here.
The whole thing.
Oh.
That's gonna have to be re-advertised, they did not have the certified receipts and posting and mailing affidavits.
Okay, so what day we wanna give it?
So, we can do 12/4.
Okay.
I'll work around it, 12/4.
So I move for that, right?
All right, so, yes, it's Kevin's. Kevin, do you want to move that we're going to re-advertise this, this application?
Oh, really?
Oh, we're on number 2?
No,
Oh,
we're
wait a
not,
second.
okay, hold
We're
on.
on
So,
number 2.
number 2 on the agenda, I move to re-advertise the application, the hearing on the application of John Abrun and Gazala Abrun to December 4th.
Second.
No vote.
No vote.
Okay,
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
so, just so that the people in the audience
Yeah,
understand.
next week.
Is anybody
You've
here
already
for
told them? Okay.
Dubelak?
Okay, so
Yes,
you'll
we go to
come
the-
back.
Dubelak's here? Okay. Here we go. And I already read it. So calling number 3 on the agenda, the application of Christopher Stubelak and Blythe Payne, 10 Duval Drive, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-295-1-13.1. Finally.
Okay, where are we?
Made
Which
it.
one is this?
Number 3.
Dubelak.
3, okay. You hope.
Ah, that's what you think.
Are either of you attorney? Oh, hold on.
Helen, this is yours.
She's gonna come in.
Oh, we had to find a notary. Okay, thank you so much for,
$2.
and I can't believe you carry it with you. That's like amazing.
She notarizes that day.
I never carried mine, so.
I could have done it.
Now we know
Yeah.
if we need one.
I always carry mine.
Okay,
I have
good.
two. I have one for the office and one for my bag.
You sign.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just wanted to sign, I guess.
Okay, we're doing a little bit of housekeeping right now. And this is Helen's application.
Yesterday. I think it was yesterday she came.
While she's doing that, are either of you attorneys? Let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please state your name and address separately.
Blythe Payne, 10 Duval Drive, Hampton Bays, New York, 11946.
Okay,
Chris Tabella, 10 Duval Drive, Bays, New York, 11946.
okay, great.
Write this down for my notes.
Yes.
I'll bring it right back.
Okay, this has been an interesting evening with lots of, Okay, so now we're ready.
If I may, Board of Jurisdiction.
Yes,
Madam
thank
Chair.
you. Okay, now you're free to speak. Can you explain your application, please?
We're looking for an area variance for 26,000 square feet versus the 30,000 that's
This is for an accessory
allowed.
apartment.
Accessory apartment.
Okay. And so there are two things. There's one is an exception, a variance for the square footage required for an accessory apartment from 30,000 to 26, whatever.
136.
All right. And then the other one is the size of the accessory apartment.
I don't know about that one.
Okay, well, under the code, accessory apartments have to be 400 square feet.
Correct.
And so yours is slightly less,
371.
right? Yeah, so that's a second variance required. Okay, so this is Helen's, but I just have one quick question, and that is, are you talking about converting the shed that's on the property? Oh, so where are you putting this?
It
It's,
was approved as an accessory structure.
let me just look at the survey. Where's the survey? Okay, so where is the, oh, it's the one-story frame dwelling in the back of the property. Okay, okay, that's what. Okay, so tell us about, what your interest is and why you want this, and then we can ask some questions if appropriate.
We'd like to legalize it as an apartment so we can rent it.
Has it already been converted into an apartment at this point?
So the history is, I bought the property in 1999, and that house was there in the part of the house. I fixed it up, lived there for a while, and then we got married, decided to have kids and everything, but it's more than 370 square feet. So I jacked it up and I put it in the back of the property to keep
So you
it.
moved it.
I moved
So that was your original primary residence?
Correct.
Then you picked it up, moved it to the back, or wherever that, I guess that's the back, yes, and then you built a new structure? Okay,
Yes.
okay, that makes sense.
And as it was an accessory, did you get a CO for the accessory structure?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the use of the structure?
It was for home office.
Oh, okay.
It's right here.
Helen, this is your application. Do you have any specific questions you'd like to ask?
No, but I would like to say I did make a visit to the property, and all in all, I feel that this would be more likely almost a minor variance. I think what these people are requesting is definitely nothing that I would be concerned about. I think a perfectly good application, and I wish them the best in their pursuit of renting this property.
Helen, I agree with you 100%.
I also have some letters from our neighbors that.
So
That would be helpful to submit.
I have just one additional item, which is somewhat germane, but a little bit unusual. And that is, so you have, in all likelihood, a conventional septic system in the accessory structure, right? Or do you- right.
Yes.
So I don't think it's a condition of the permit, but, you have two cesspools or two septic systems on property. and there's a county and a town program to upgrade them to new technology that, would be better off if, it's all, nearly all of it is grant funded. It's not much out of your own pocket for it. I would encourage you to look into that. I would feel better about voting for, I would agree with Helen and feel better about voting for this if we had some reasonable expectation that you would pursue that grant program and change the polluting septic system out in favor of a vastly less polluting septic system. And Anthony can tell you all the details about it on your way out.
Can I also ask you a question? How many bedrooms are in the primary structure? 3, and this would be a fourth. And so the parking requirements are, I think, for 3 bedrooms, 2 spots with an additional spot required for the accessory apartment. Is that correct, Kathleen?
That's correct.
So you would have to, you have to have 3 parking spots.
For the accessory apartment?
No, not for the entire property.
2 for the house and 1 for the
One for the-
accessory?
So generally, we like to see that on the survey so that we know, in fact, that there is enough room for
Yeah, so there's.
a brick driveway. I see it,
It's like a
but,
hoop, and
One
then
bedroom.
you drive, and then there's a,
So,
there's a,
like,
is it on there?
1-story frame, 2-story. So it's right here, the brick driveway,
All right, okay.
and then this is like a pathway.
okay, all right, so you feel comfortable that there's enough room for 3 parking spaces in that, and we don't
Yeah.
require it on the survey?
Yeah.
Okay,
Then there is plenty of room for,
all right, good to know, Helen, thank you. All right, just so that you know, for future reference, that we do ask about that, so,
And we have been paying taxes for multi-family dwelling since the beginning, for whatever reason. Just letting you know.
you're very lucky.
Yeah?
Okay, Helen, this is yours.
okay,
Oh,
we're
wait,
gonna-
before you go,
Hold on.
is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 10 Duval Drive? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on 10 Duval Drive?
No one on Zoom.
Okay, Helen,
okay, well, we're going to close the public hearing. I will leave it open for any written submissions till November 7th with a decision on November 20th.
Second.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia? Mr. Redhand?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Is anyone here on number 4, Merrick? Is anybody here on Merrick? Okay. Number 4 on the agenda, the application of Malcolm Merrick, 385 Oak Avenue, Flanders. Applicant requests, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-166-1-22.5. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed accessory apartment. Section 330-11.2F, special standards for a principal front yard setback of 41.3 feet where 42 feet is required, 70% of the required 60 feet. And 2, section 330-11.2G1, to allow the size of the accessory apartment to be 76.54% of the total floor area habitable living space of the main house where a maximum of 35% is permitted, and any other relief necessary.
Are you an attorney?
No.
Let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address.
Malcolm Myrick, 385 Oak Avenue, Flanders, New York, 11901.
Okay, Malcolm,
The
tell
board,
us.
I apologize, Madam Chair, a proper notice has been received.
Okay. I keep forgetting to acknowledge you. I'm sorry, Kathleen. Moving right along. Malcolm, tell us about this application, please.
Well, it's an accessory apartment, and it's, like you said, it's over the allowed square footage of my home. I think it's 400 square feet they allow you, maximum. But the reason why is because my home is pretty small. My home is probably 700 something square feet. So the accessory apartment is around 500 something. But with the house being so small, and to make something that's livable, will accommodate 1 to 2 people, that was pretty much, that we could keep it and everything. And what's also, which is great about this accessory apartment, is it's through a program where I'm not getting like it's not gonna be like high priced or like crazy priced out or nothing.
Affordable housing?
Exactly, something like that, yeah. So you don't have to worry about, it's affordable, make long, for Long Island, is for people who's looking for something and, can have something they can afford. Like when I first went to my first place, by finding something affordable allowed me to get my foot in the door to purchase a home. And that's why this is also great. And that's why I would also like to participate and go forward in this.
It's a two-bedroom house now, right? Yeah?
No,
it's a
it's
three.
now it's a three. It's actually a three.
Three? Okay.
Yes.
So it'd be 4 bedrooms.
So you haven't built it yet.
No.
Is it basement, is it a basement
It's a
apartment?
basement, so it won't affect the change of anything or.
So your structure stays the same, you're not increasing the size of the house.
Exactly.
It's in a bed.
No setback issues, no height
How many
requirements?
bedrooms are in the house now?
Three.
3 bedrooms, and this would be a 4th
This
bedroom,
would be a
right?
four.
Okay. And I'm assuming you have a conventional septic system from the buyer?
Correct.
You heard the last pitch, the county,
Yeah.
the county and the town have an incentive program when you can get the new septic system installed, 90% pollution reduction.
Correct.
Grant-funded program for the most part, nominal expenses. If the house is more than 25 years old, the septic system's probably gonna fail anyway soon, so why deal with that? And, the health department may require it if you have to run this through them to get it, I don't know. So apply for the grant, get the grant, do the project.
Yeah, I
I think they
mean,
just increased the grant, so they just refunded it, right? I think they just refunded the grant also, I read.
It's at least state and county.
Yeah.
John, this is yours. Do you have any specific
Well,
questions?
just so Candace, if it's 3 bedrooms upstairs, they need 3 parking
Then
spaces?
2 for the.
2 for
house.
upstairs,
Well,
and that's it.
That's it, and then 1 for.
Yeah, so they need
Okay,
3.
so there is a parking issue, so, I mean, from what I'm looking at the survey, and it looks like you have a parking space in front of the existing garage, and then
To the
a
side.
space to the side, you're gonna need 1 more.
Correct.
You're gonna need 1 more parking space, so that should be on your radar when you build. You have to redo your driveway
Yeah,
a
it
little
should
bit.
actually be on the site plan. I know it.
On the big site plan for the apartment? I thought we actually put them on there, I didn't double check, but I think it
I didn't get those, so.
This?
I mean,
I
No.
didn't see a site plan. I didn't see a site plan.
Yeah, I didn't either.
the lot's big enough to accommodate the parking, it's a
Oh,
question of,
absolutely.
question of how do you show
Absolutely.
it?
I just wanna make sure
Yeah,
that
point
we
taken.
have the right amount.
Yep.
So you're gonna need, for the 3 bedrooms, you need 2 spaces. For the additional bedroom, you need 1 more. So you need 3 parking spaces.
There's 2, is that what you're saying, Raj? You have
There's 2, right?
The building department counts the garage. as a
Oh,
parking
counts the
space.
garage,
Yes.
okay.
So that's-
Okay,
that's the
perfect.
first parking
Okay,
space.
perfect.
Okay.
All right, so
Then
then
we're fine
you've
with
met
that.
it.
That was really the only question that I have. I mean, my view of this is, I think that the setback relief is, so minimal, and, I'm fine with the size of the accessory apartment being, the percentages, I'm fine with the increase
Because
in
the main
percentages
structure
because
is
it's,
so modest.
because it's modest, and it's also in the house.
Right. And it's not increasing the structure at all, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw,
Okay.
I verified with the other one too, the development rights certificate process is underway.
Yes.
Good.
Excellent. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 385 Oak Avenue? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard? Okay, John, this is yours.
Okay, I move to close the public hearing on this application, hold it for written submissions to November 7th with a decision on November 20th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redhead?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Hey.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, number 6 on the agenda, Application of Thomas Strauss and Wendy Cromwell, 1108 Flying Point Road, Watermill, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-178-2-7, on February 1, 2024, by decision number D024008. This board granted pyramid height and a rear yard setback for a proposed one-family dwelling. By letter dated August 28, 2025, Elizabeth Baldwin is requesting that said decision be modified to correct a mistake in the previous plans that were reviewed by the ZBA.
Good evening.
Hi, are any of you attorneys? Okay, well, why don't you just state your name and address, please?
Elizabeth Baldwin, Essex, Hefner and Angel, 108 East Main Street, Riverhead, New York, 119.
And I'll swear the two of you in. Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please state your name and address.
My name is Viola Rouhani. I'm with Stella Mart Rouhani Architects. We're at 48 Foster Avenue in Bridgehampton, New York.
My name is Marta Albronda, MARTA, and I'm with Stella Mart Rouhani Architects, 48 Foster Avenue, Bridgehampton.
You said Marta, M-A-R-T-A?
Yes.
And then the last name is spelled
ALBRONDA.
Got it. A-L.
BRON, like Nancy, D like dog, A.
Okay, that's not it. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so who's going to talk about this application?
I will. I first wanted to, just to start out, I had submitted in my original cover letter the amounts of the pyramid encroachment, which we're here about tonight. The number that I had given the board originally was incorrect, and I just revised it. So I just want to make sure that this number matches the plans that were submitted. So just clarifying that.
More or less.
It is less.
Yes.
The good way.
That was,
Let's keep it together. I'll give them.
yes, and we received a memo in our submittals from Arthur Gerhauser, the principal building inspector, identifying the same amount, 166.21 cubic feet being required, so.
So.
So his memo matches your numbers.
Yes, so now we're all the numbers are the
166.
same.
Okay.
So we are here tonight requesting a modification of the board's February 1st, 2024 determination. This approval had granted the applicant a variance from 330-84D pyramid height for a pyramid encroachment of 66.9 cubic feet. That was for 2 deck railings on the west side of the dwelling. The second floor deck rail was 13.5 cubic feet, and the roof deck was 53.4 cubic feet. There was also a second variance that was granted, and that was a variance from Town Code 330-83K yards to allow principal rear setback of 24.9 feet where 50 feet is required. We are seeking the modification tonight with regard to the pyramid encroachment only. Following the board's approval, it had been discovered that the calculations of the cubic feet for the pyramid encroachments were taken from the wrong base elevation line. And in the interest of transparency with the board and with the town, we wanted to bring it to the town's attention before we did anything. And so we are coming now back to you to correct that mistake. The plans themselves are not changing as far as what we're proposing. However, the numbers worked out differently based on that starting point being different. Specifically, the correct base elevation line is elevation 16. The prior plans had depicted the base elevation line at 18. So this elevation resulted in what appeared to be a smaller pyramid encroachment variance than what was actually depicted in the plans that the board had approved. So the actual encroachment as depicted by the plan prepared by Stella Mart Rouhani Architects dated August 6, 2025 which is the plans that you have, depict the pyramid encroachment as 166.21 cubic feet with the following breakdown. The roof railing being 98.66 cubic feet, the second story roof 3.80 cubic feet, and the second story railing 63.75 cubic feet. Should you have any specific technical questions, the architects are here to answer that for you. However, we just wanted to be transparent with what was discovered following the
Okay,
approval.
so you originally were approved for 133.8, correct? And then we had some documentation that called for 245.5.
Yeah, that was
Now,
my-
now we're down to 166.21.
And this is the total pyramid relief.
Yes,
This is
it's-
not in addition to anything previously
No,
granted.
No.
Total.
Okay, that seems pretty easy, so, all right, whose is this?
It's mine.
It's yours, Robert. Let me just ask if there's anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 1108 Flying Point Road. Anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this application? Okay. Robert?
So we're going to close the public hearing, hold it open for written submissions until November 7th with a decision on November 20th.
Second.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes, oh, wait, Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
You're still in line?
Thank you very much, ladies.
Good for you.
Okay, number 7 on the agenda.
97.
Application of LHBH Properties LLC, 97 School Street, Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-86-2-7.5.
Beautiful.
For the applicant, David Gilmartin, Greenberg, Troy, 2317 Montauk Highway, Bridgehampton, New York, and I have the architect.
Let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
John Leonard, 320 Hampton Road, Southampton, New York.
Okay, David, tell us about this.
So this property is located at 97 School Street, as the legal advertisement indicates. This board in 1983 subdivided this property from the restaurant in front of it. At the time that the property was subdivided, there was a house and then a garage. Once it merged into the village business district, it has taken on many uses. Right now, the main building is retail, and the garage is basically unused. We're here looking for a parking variance, and I think it should be noted that this property is in the Bridgehampton Parking District. It's a special assessment district where the property pays additional property taxes that's put in to a fund to increase parking. I have
In the municipal lot, that's there.
a lot of paper for you to show that the parking lot is underutilized, but I would actually defer to the planning board who sent you a report today. And that report summarized that, I'll read the whole thing. The planning board notes that the lot area of the subject parcel has constrained the amount of parking that can be accommodated on-site and finds that the location of the subject property adjacent to the Bridgehampton municipal parking is sufficient to cover the needs for additional parking under the proposed application. And then they remind of the parking fund determination when you waive it. Either this board or the planning board can waive it. You both have power in different parts of the code. I think if we look to the balancing test, benefits clear are getting retail space, which is a permitted use in the village business zoning district. We're getting additional retail space. I can't see any detriment based on the amount of parking that is available in
Can I
Bridgehampton.
just ask a clarifying question? Are you providing any parking in that area or
Yes,
not?
there are 3 spots that we are
One of
providing.
which has a refrigerated truck in there. Yeah, I mean, it's completely taken up, so I mean, it's not available for parking.
And that'll have to be removed. Right?
Yeah. Julie, this is your application. I have some more questions, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
turn it over to you.
Hi, David. Sorry I'm not in the room. I have a couple of questions for you, and part of this is just, I think I'm not sure I understand the parking assessment piece, but let me start with just first anecdotally. I'm an N of 1. The planning board seems to think there's ample parking. That's not my experience when I go over there, and I do pretty frequently, so just an observation. With respect to the assessment, if we allow you to have fewer spots, do I understand correctly then that you would be paying fewer dollars toward the parking fund? Or if that's a yes, is there a way we can give you the variance but still ask you to pay the money? Or does none of that make any sense?
It's a good question. Go ahead, David.
The answer to it is no. There are two fees here to waive the parking, well, not to waive the parking, there are two fees here. The first is a parking waiver that is granted by this board or the planning board, requires a contribution to the fund of $2,000 per space. So if this board grants it, our application, there will be a $10,000 contribution from
What's the required number of parking spaces?
10.
10. So you're asking for 3.
Well, no, because we were grandfathered in a previous ZBA application.
You were grandfathered too. You were
we're down to
grandfathered
five, yeah.
5.
And
So,
you
yeah,
paid-
so you would
and
only pay us to 5 spaces. And that's what the
You're
memo
grandfathered
was
to
saying.
5. I don't see 5 spaces on that
No,
property.
we had,
It's a fiction.
well,
All right,
we
okay.
were grandfathered 2, so you take 7 down to 5, right?
Yeah.
You had a previous grandfather.
I see, okay, okay.
The second fee is we are, again, in this special assessment district, so through their property taxes and the payment of their property taxes, they additionally pay into the fund.
That's for the municipal parking.
Yes, that, in the Bridgehampton parking district, it's limited to that. And it's, I think in the town, it's pretty unusual, but that money does get used on occasion. If you look at the parking lot next to the Golden Pear, in between there and the Golden Pear, that came as a result of money spent through the parking fund, so it works.
Are those payments continuing?
They're ongoing, right?
Are they ongoing,
Yes, yeah,
continuing
it's on
payments?
it's like you're paying your property tax.
It's like a part of,
So
and
it's
this,
every year, it's
and
an
this
annual.
parking trust fund, is that a single payment, or is that continuing as well?
No, the $2,000 is
The
a single
2,000,
payment.
that's a single payment, and then the other fund is an assessment annual. Okay.
Okay, so the single, just to clarify, I guess what I'm trying to say is, on the first single assessment, you're not going to get a windfall, are you, if we grant this variance?
No, we'll pay.
Okay,
They're gonna pay $10,000.
got it. Thank you.
Okay, so I do have some questions, because, I know the property pretty well. So one is, there's a big refrigerated truck, or whatever, like a trailer, that's taking up one of the spaces right now. The other problem I have with it, and I understand the whole retail, the way that it's now set up, it's almost like an open market in that parking area. There's like, outside the door of Round Swamp, there's some, stalls, and there was a coffee trailer in the parking area. There was a whole bunch of stuff that, they have the vegetables out there, they've got the flowers and the blah, blah. So, to me, it looks a little bit unsafe to actually be putting parking in there. I don't know, so, I understand about the 3 spaces, I don't have a problem with that, I understand about the assessment, but just from a purely kind of safety point of view, I think that there is an issue, and that one refrigerated truck has to
We'll
go.
talk to the client about what's where. I suspect that if this variance is granted and the garage is converted to retail space, that all of that will disappear. It also,
Possibly, except there might be a lot of flow back and forth between, going into one place and going into the other place, and one has the big, I don't know what it is, but I would like some clarification on that.
Where are employees parking?
Probably in the.
Probably in a municipal parking
municipal
site.
lot.
Can we condition our variance on them not allowing employees to park in the 3 spaces that they have?
Well, the only other question I have is, could you make them handicapped?
I'm sure the
Because-
boss is insisting on that,
Yeah, I'm sure too.
right?
And honestly,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it would be really tough for them to use. So I think they use it to offload some stuff, though. I think they bring some stuff in and probably use it to do that, but,
We can talk to them about all of these issues.
Yeah.
I'd also remind you that we have to go through a full site plan with the planning
Yeah.
board. and
Right,
a lot of
right,
things
right.
That you're mentioning, all
Yeah,
the site
yeah.
plan
I
issues.
mean,
that-
again, so I'm raising it because of a little bit of a concern.
The refrigerated truck can't be in a parking space and take up a parking space. I
Well, it is
agree.
now, so
Okay,
at least
I
it
mean-
was when I last looked at it, a couple weeks ago.
And that certainly will be moved and would never be allowed from site plan, yeah.
But
I
they
don't
did
know.
have a coffee truck in there this summer.
Okay.
I mean, just a couple of things, and I'm concerned about the fact that they have it's like an open market out there right now. So
I have
just
a
to
couple
be-
of issues when you're done.
Yeah, I'm done, I'm sorry.
Thank you. So, assuming I was in the right place, it's a modest-sized garage at present, right? Is it one or two bays, right?
Yes.
Low profile ceiling. So is this, am I looking at the redo of the garage? Are you modifying the garage in any way?
Yes. Yes, we're actually rebuilding the garage. If you looked
Okay.
at Mr. Fairhauser's request, I think we will make it at 5 feet. There's a surveyor discrepancy.
And you need no variances for the structures or anything else from us for that? Okay. Is there gonna be a bathroom in that facility? How are you gonna fit a septic system? Are you gonna tie into the other septic system? Okay.
Yeah, I already spoke to the sanitary engineer about how all that would all get coordinated and pulled
I
together.
would imagine. Any chance you're gonna upgrade it to advanced treatment technology?
I think we would have to when they do that.
I would feel better.
I don't think, I
I
don't think,
think the
I don't-
building
I-
code
the-
requires it.
Right, the health department,
Yeah,
it's not an option.
well, it's such a tiny lot, and I'm assuming it's not a wet use, right, in a classic sense, it's,
Well, right, so the difference between a wet use and a dry use is whether or not you're gonna end up with a grease trap, which you're not gonna have.
Right, okay. It's also, there's a flow issue too, but, no, not so much?
Not
Okay.
so much.
They're not cooking food on site. It's cooked off-site and brought.
It's all brought in,
Okay.
right,
So there's no
right,
cooking on site.
right. It's a heavily trafficked area, it's a very popular store. And,
Good for
and
them.
and your municipal lot is literally
Yeah.
right there.
Next to it.
Yeah,
Which is
next
never
to it.
full, right?
I have photos.
It's
from-
never, well, it can be, but it's, you can usually find a spot. You might have to drive around a little bit, but you can find a spot, yeah. So in terms of that stuff, I don't have an issue. But I would, prefer that we get some kind of a written statement from you, if you could, about clarifying about the refrigerator truck and that kind of
Well,
stuff.
I would say, why don't you make it a condition of your decision that all of the parking spaces remain free and available?
Accessible.
Yeah.
To
Accessible.
the public, and maybe to John Leonard's earlier point, that employees be required to not park in those 3 spaces, which I'm sure the owner would appreciate in any case.
The times I've been there, the employees are not parked there.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's covered by
Mr. Boss does.
that it has to be for customers.
Yep,
no store owner was letting their employees have the only 4 parking spaces in front of the store.
If you want a condition on that.
Go ahead.
Surprised. You would be
In my building, I take
surprised.
the best spot because it's my building.
The store owner isn't
Well, it's a good
always
thing you're not
there.
in front of us tonight.
True.
That's the other thing.
True,
The store
okay.
owner isn't always there, and sometimes they,
No, I think it's worth mentioning.
Can you guys agree that you stipulate to upgrading septic systems so we don't have to condition it, or?
Well, part of our process here is that we have to go to the health department anyway in
Yeah,
order for
yeah.
us to.
But if you're telling me you're gonna do it, we can,
Well,
we
we
can
have,
we
so
can leave
part
it
of
at
that, we're gonna go through the process with the county health department, so we're gonna
We
comply
don't have
with
to
the county
stipulate
health
it,
department
nor
regulations.
variance.
Yeah, there's no nexus requiring
Right.
updated septic
Well,
for a
you
parking
know,
variance.
if you can't use the space because, Okay, point
We'll
taken.
upgrade it to current Suffolk County standards.
Okay.
Yes.
How's that sound?
you know what I'm doing.
Yes, I
Yes,
know.
I know you do.
Okay, any other questions? Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 97 School Street? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on 97 School Street? Yes,
there is.
Okay, Julie, this is yours.
yep. So I move to close the public hearing. We'll accept written submissions until November 7 with a decision on November 20th.
second.
Ms. Kane.
There's somebody on
Aye.
Zoom.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, there's somebody on Zoom. Let's hold the,
Hold the phone.
Hold the vote.
okay.
Hi, sorry, I was just texting to say I was here. I'm here.
Meredith,
So
you an attorney?
I am an attorney.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm
Your
Meredith.
name and your address, please.
Yeah, so I'm Meredith Berkowitz, and I'm here on behalf of the Bridgehampton Civic Association. My actual address is 1 Cody Way. The Bridgehampton Civic Association has a PO box, but off the top of my head, I don't know it.
That's okay.
So I am here, we've actually discussed this property. The first thing I want to bring to the board's attention is that there is an area behind what is now the retail space, between the retail space and the municipal lot, that is actually town property. But it was landscaped in and is being used by Round Swamp as part of their retail space. And I believe they have a gazebo that's been constructed back there and some brick pathways and things like that. And as part of this application, I think that that survey and that town land needs to get sorted out before you should grant, or you can, but you shouldn't grant a variance until you sort that back out and figure out that land and that space and whether they're have an easement for it or they're paying to use it, because they are in fact using it and utilizing it. Also, I'm a little confused on the parking spaces because I thought the parking spaces we're talking about are on what's paved between the retail space and the garage, but that's usually chained off. And as you said, as some members have said, there's usually some carts there with fruits and vegetables and flowers. And so it's usually just mainly used for pedestrians. Are we now talking about adding and actually using those if you grant the variance as parking spots, as opposed to most customers now, all customers now actually park in the back in the municipal lot? And then I have a couple of questions on the traffic. I would like to understand why the planning board, or how they concluded that the parking was adequate. It is my experience, like Julie's, and I think yours is, in that lot is heavily used, especially during the peak months of July and August, and on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it not only is it hard to find parking, and that municipal lot is supposed to be for all of those stores, and most of that traffic is for Round Swamp. So I can't even imagine if there's an expansion, how much harder it will be to find spots there. But also, that's a very narrow little driveway in and out, like between the Greek restaurant and Round Swamp back to the municipal lot and the Candy Kitchen on the other side. It's often very crowded with two cars trying to go in each direction. And I think that should be studied as part of this. Before granting the variance process, you should study what the actual parking requirements are during the peak periods in July, August, and the weekends, and also that traffic in and out of that driveway to get to the municipal lot, were this expansion allowed to go through, and, with the parking variance. And so those are our main concerns that we have with respect to this application. And I think that I just want to make sure, also I want to mention, I forgot, sorry. There are a bunch of, not just the refrigerated truck, but there are a bunch of containers, possibly refrigerated containers, also very close to the south property line. And one of our members is actually the owner of that south property. And so he had asked that we also ask you that if you do grant this variance, that you condition that on removing all of those containers that they have lined up along the south property line, because those do seem to be, in the setback. And the last thing I just want to say, sorry, I'm looking at my notes, is that I understand that there would be a 10K contribution if you do grant this variance, but that 10K contribution doesn't really solve the traffic and the parking problem, because that doesn't buy more spaces. And there's really not another place right now in town to add additional parking. And so unless that's identified, just contributing the money doesn't really solve the problem, and it adds to our traffic and existing traffic and parking issues that we already have in Bridgehampton. Thank you very much.
Wait, Meredith, before you sign off, can I ask you a question? Because I'm not sure how you understand the initial topic you raised about the town property or easement tying into what's being requested here. I get it's an interesting issue for you, but I'm not seeing the connection to what it is that's in front of us tonight.
Well, I think because they're asking for a variance, which you do or don't have to grant, right? But they're using land in violation of zoning code that's not theirs, right? And I would think that maybe before you granted additional relief for them, you would want them to sort of resolve that with the town, and at least the attorneys, maybe Katie should talk to the town attorneys about that and trying to resolve what that issue is with that land back there, because it does belong to the town and it is being used, and that is, land that belongs to all of us as the public, that, are taxpayers in Bridgehampton, and if they are using it, and I'm happy to have them use it, but they should be paying for the easement back.
Well, I don't understand where it's located.
It's behind the building, so between the lot, you can look on the survey, it's that triangle that's behind the retail building, you can see it on the survey, because their lot runs right behind the retail space, and then there's another grassy expanse where the gazebo is, between there and the municipal lot. And I'm told, I'm not the expert on this, I'm told by someone who has lived next door, that that is in fact town land.
Okay.
So I'm still not sure I understand the connection, and it sounds like it might be a code enforcement issue, but David, do you have any insight into this?
I'm looking at the survey, and if you look in the southeastern corner, we have a planter that goes over our lot line onto the town's property that we can certainly take care of. I don't see the gazebo on the survey.
Well, have you been to the property, David? I don't think it's that it's landscaped in, so no one from the public can access it, and Round Swamp uses it to load from the truck, which, by the way, the truck parks in the parking lot. It doesn't park in the, when they're delivering, when the truck comes, it parks in the parking lot, and then they unload the deliveries right there where that gazebo is, and they walk through the back, it's landscaped, so it doesn't appear it appears to the public as if it's Round Swamp's land, and they load and outload their deliveries through that back door, which opens back to that land. I think it was intended to be a buffer between the municipal parking lot and the house, when it was a house, but it's not, it's now sort of blocked in with it's been landscaped.
We could condition it on any encroachments, any encroachments on town property must be removed. We do that sometimes when we have notes from the building department that something's in the right of way, or, and certainly that's gonna be identified when they're before the planning board as well, because the planning board's gonna look at everything that's on that property and, but we can add that as a condition.
The other thing I did want to mention that Meredith mentioned is that there is stuff in the back of the building.
Yes, well, yeah, we're aware of that. We saw that on the
Yeah.
survey. That'll be removed, and obviously, we
Okay.
can't get through site plan or the building
Okay,
department
so
with
that, just so, Katie, that there are other pieces, there's these, like, I don't know what they are, refrigerator things or whatever back there.
They were there when our clients bought the property.
Okay,
They
but,
don't know.
okay, just so that you know, and they, right up against the property line, so.
But that's
Okay.
more of a site plan issue, but
Okay.
for a condition, the
Yeah.
condition would be anything on town property should come off. but-
Okay, so Meredith, I think it will be addressed.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay.
Have a good evening, everyone.
All right, thank you. Okay, Julie, we're back to you.
Okay, aye.
All right, we're gonna do the.
Oh, do you want me to start
Yes,
again?
please,
Okay.
please stay, yes.
Okay, okay. So I move to close the public hearing. We're going to keep it open for written submissions until November 7, with a decision for November 20.
Second.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Mastonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redhand?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye. Okay, thank you,
Thank you
gentlemen.
very much.
Thank you.
Number 8 on the agenda, application of Utopia Properties LLC, 599 Dune Road, West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-392-2-3.
This is adjourned, right? Which one are you on?
9, Utopia.
9. 8 is adjourned, okay, we're on 9. Sorry. Okay, I did swear you in, correct?
When we have the meeting.
Yes, okay, well, you're still sworn in.
Okay, great.
But just for the record, please state your name and address again.
6 Evergreen Lane, East Quogue, New York. I'm the architect for the project.
Okay, yeah.
So we're back, we were held over waiting for comments from planning and conservation, and we received them on August 11th and 12th. And we went through their comments, both were commented on the land seaward of the home, and they basically both wanted revegetation of the dune, and everything with there was an outdoor shower, some fencing, that should be removed. Our new site plan, our new survey shows that anything related to the shower, the fencing, will be removed, and everything will be revegetated. There's also a comment that there should be a dune walk. So we have submitted plans for a new dune walk to access the beach and staircase. We shift the main wear and tear through the dune was really not completely done by the owner of the property, but there is an access strip that connects Dune Road to the beach that the public has been using, and they have been using that path. So what the client wants to do, if he has to make this dune walk, is he wants to angle it over away so that these people don't use that, his new walkway, because everybody's using his property to get to the beach. So I don't know how we can force these people to not walk on his property. I guess it's kind of hard to do, so that's why we're trying
At a certain
to.
point, yeah, it becomes
So
like, yeah.
he was hopeful to just, if he can put his walkway down the middle. So we kind of oriented the walkway to avoid some bushes that are already there, and then go straight down to the beach. So I feel like we've picked up on all of the comments from planning and conservation. And hopefully we touched on everything.
And you've included all of that in the new survey, which is dated September 25th, correct? No, wait, that's the old revised. Is there a new?
September 18th?
September 18th, revised, yeah, September 18th, sorry. Okay. Bob, this was yours. Do you have any comments?
I don't have any other further questions now.
So what exactly are we being asked to approve? We're being asked to approve the demolition and the construction of a pool, front covered porch with second-story covered balcony above, a rear second floor, and a rear second floor story in relief from, mostly the pool, right? It's pretty much just taking into account the pool and putting some decking around it and stuff of that matter.
Yeah, there was a bigger pool there already.
Yeah.
So now we're making a smaller pool within the limits of the old pool. Basically, everything is being built on decking, or pool that was already there, aside from the new staircase on the side of the deck to get up to the house.
Right. Okay. Any comments from the board? Looks like you've taken into account the things that have been asked of you. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 599 Dune Road? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on 599 Dune Road?
We ready to close it then?
Yep.
Jeff, are you okay with the condition that one of the referrals had something about the outdoor furniture coming in and stuff like that?
Absolutely, it's all gone, yeah.
I'd feel better, you're basically representing, if I understood it correctly, that you've either accommodated for or have complied with the comments from the coastal erosion hazard administrator. And could you give us that in writing and just
Okay.
sort of, point by point, this is how this was provided for. That way, we have a completed record and it's clear. Okay.
Okay, and it's shown on the survey, so that would be helpful.
And we're doing an IA system too.
Thank you very much, and you're paying attention. Excellent.
Okay, okay.
We did Zoom already, right?
I did.
Move to close the public hearing, hold it open for written submissions till 11:07 for a decision on 11:20.
Second.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Ms. Hain.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, number 10 on the agenda, application of Watermill Building Supply Realty LLC, 1110 Montauk Highway, Watermill, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-102-1-17.1.
Anybody anybody here for this?
Zooming on this? Is there anybody on Zoom? Maybe Rob Fischetti?
Bueller. Nope. Okay, we will.
Anyone?
Do you want a second caller?
Nobody on Zoom, no hand.
Third caller?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not, I know this is going back before the planning board, they're still working through the secret, we've retained a
Adjourn it,
traffic
yeah,
consultant, so we're putting them back on our agenda in November, so.
Okay, so we'll go, yeah, we'll go there.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Okay.
so should we adjourn?
No, go to January.
The second call, wait to see.
We'll wait to the end.
Okay, okay.
And then we can
second-
call it again, and then we can adjourn it.
Okay.
Okay, number 12 on the agenda, 40 Ocean View Drive LLC. 40 Ocean View Drive, Shinnecock Hills, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-271-1-44. Come on down.
All right, I swore you in, didn't I?
Yeah, that's.
And I saw in, Mr. Allen, and so I just,
Like this
before we
house.
start, I just want you to say your names and your addresses now.
Joe Lavoy, 13 Kent Commons, Yaphank, New York, 11980.
Okay,
Jeff Allen, 11 New Lane, Southampton, 11968.
okay. Probably able to say his name too.
Carl Benacasa, 860 Montauk Highway, Watermill, New York. The applicant, good evening, good to see you all. When we were last here, we talked about providing a cost estimate. That was only 2 weeks ago, so we did just get this information today. We're distributing it now. A cost estimate for removing the existing railing, that's the subject of the relief. And we talked about certain forms of mitigation that could be done.
Wait, give him a, I'm sorry. Excuse me 1 second.
Limit the impact. I think, you know, I think it's a good idea to just rehash what brought us here. There was a variance granted for pyramid relief for the construction of this home. We saw last time we were here that that variance did include plans which showed this roof deck. Application was then made in line with that variance to the building department. An application was granted. That, the building department permit that was granted included as a requirement this railing, this glass railing, as a safety requirement. That permit, again, was issued with the railing, and this structure was built in line with the permits. This was not something that was done without permits. This was not something that we're trying to legalize as an as-built. This was built with permits from the board. Great money, at great expense to the applicant. When they went to close out those permits, it was then that the building department said, whoops,
The railing is.
the railing does need additional relief, even though they had already granted a permit to construct that railing. So here we are asking for 18 cubic feet of relief for that railing. When we were last here, there was a question about the cost to relocate that railing.
Which is glass, right?
Which is glass, which should be, because that certainly weighs in on the bulking and massing.
Yep.
It's a completely glass railing. The cost to relocate it is $178,765. Certainly, you know, and courts have found that these boards can consider, as you know, when determining that balancing between the detriment to the applicant or the burden to the applicant and the detriment to the community, the cost to the applicant in exchange for the 18 cubic feet of relief for a glass railing that we're asking for. The board also wanted us to take some strides in mitigation. What we did, as you can see on that, is we are proposing a row of planters on the roof with hedging that would serve both as a visual barrier to the neighbor who has expressed concerns, and a visual barrier, and it would also preclude people from coming up close to the railing, as you can see. We would make that as a condition of this application. I would note, if the railing were in a location where that hedge was, we wouldn't
need a
need
variance.
relief. So essentially, this brings the railing, for the purposes of
It brings it back to where.
concern as to people being up against that railing, this brings the enclosure or the obstacle to coming up to that railing within what it would be if it were in a conforming location.
Have you shown this to the neighbor?
We just got it today, so we're happy to show it to the neighbor.
I would love for you to do that. Sure. Please. We have more than enough copies here. You can have another.
Some
We have
extra?
so many. Here, I'll give it to you.
What's the height of those?
Okay, Carl, you
That's
know,
about, I think, 6 foot.
So the proposal, in the rendering would be, the top of the trees would be about 6 feet, which is significant,
6 feet above the grade,
above the deck.
I'm sorry, yeah, above the deck, and presumably they grow.
Presumably, they would grow, yes.
you also talked last time about mitigation, like removing outdoor speakers.
Yeah, we would be committing to removing the outdoor speakers as well.
What about the bathroom?
Right.
No.
It's not even,
Yeah, can I just address that, because I went back and looked at the variances, and we got 2 variances on this, both of which were specific in saying that the architectural feature must remain open.
Yes, and
Both.
it is. That the front architectural feature is open.
But you enclosed it.
That's the stairwell,
Oh, okay, it's a stairwell.
which was always enclosed.
And in that stairwell area is a
The
bathroom.
bathroom.
That was legally
Okay,
permitted.
okay.
And did not need relief.
So that,
The
Okay, I think,
The
you
feature
know-
you're talking about is that.
It's the
enclosed
front,
area, which
yeah.
is, again, inaccessible and open.
okay.
What about the hot tub?
didn't need a variance for it.
You don't need a variance for the hot tub.
We have a permit for it.
Yeah.
So the mitigation, just to be clear, is the row of planters and the speakers.
Yeah, there's no way to get this to them now, right? To scan this to them, or anything, just so they can see it, to Julie and to Helen.
If you can email it, I'll take a look at it.
And,
May take
Yeah, that's
time.
helpful.
Carl, could you tell me about the outside shower?
Outside shower. There is an outside shower back here.
Right here, yes.
Yeah, right on the side of the bulkhead, which is we have a permit for it also. And it's open, it's not a closed-in shower, it's an open,
It's
it's
just
right
a
on the
plumbing
wall.
fixture, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a faucet.
See, I feel uncomfortable
shower
factoring into our decision anything that's been permitted.
Correct.
I feel very uncomfortable doing that. I understand everybody's concerns
I
on this
agree,
board.
I agree.
With regard to the intrusion to the neighbor, and we're very sympathetic, clearly, to the neighbor's position. But I have a problem going the further step of saying, well, there's a hot tub, and there's an outdoor grill, and there's a bathroom. All of these things are clearly permitted and permissible, and they're not here for that relief. And I think we need to limit and focus our deliberation on what is being requested.
I agree wholeheartedly with you, John, and I appreciate you saying that, since this is mine. I personally wouldn't even require to put the bushes up. I think the 18 cubic feet is minimal. At best, it's probably not even gonna be observed by anybody. 18 feet wouldn't even be able to tell. So I think they were.
Okay,
in
but
doing
there's a
what-
difference of
appreciate that.
opinion.
But
I
I'm entitled
like,
to my
I
opinion.
like the idea.
I like the idea of the-
Mitigating some of the concerns, yes.
I like
appreciate the idea,
vegetative.
but I would not have
agree with
required
you.
it.
This is a
I agree.
gesture to the neighbors.
And that's, it's a wonderful gesture.
Much appreciated, but I would not have required it.
We have differences of opinion, obviously, on this board, and everybody has a voice,
I
so
think if you are gonna require it, though, you're gonna need a planting plan or something, like, we can't
it needs to
condition
be
it
on a
based on
survey,
this.
you know.
Yeah, we had limited time, so.
Yes, no, I
if we
understand.
could close it.
Pick this
and-
date,
No, I know that,
okay,
Katie.
well,
What did you say, Katie?
no, they picked this date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're right. You wanted to come back quickly to
Yes, we did. We
Mr.
absolutely
Allen.
did.
Okay.
So this is what
So-
we can submit in a written comment period, a survey depicting that line, noting the height, the relative height of the bushes as well.
Okay.
And this may seem trivial, but this is different from planters that are a visual barrier as opposed to things that are planted in the ground. There's a likelihood that they may not flourish, and so it's not an insignificant commitment. I just feel
Yeah,
compelled to
and
make.
maybe they'd have to be maintained,
course,
obviously,
they're
yeah.
not gonna wanna look at.
And what is the height of these going to, I think we
Drip line
should,
irrigation?
6
Yeah,
feet,
yeah.
okay, that's nice.
They'll-
I'm
they'll
sorry,
survive.
John, I interrupted you, I
I just said
apologize.
if they put a drip line in, they'll.
Yeah.
Very well.
That makes sense.
That design these things.
And I would like to, that it has to be maintained to 6 feet. I like that. I like that as a condition.
At 6 feet.
What about any outdoor lighting, sound systems, stuff like that?
Sound system, we're covenanting that we will not have a built-in sound system outside. And the lighting, well, I'm not, what lighting is?
no lighting.
There's no.
There's no lighting.
There's no bulkhead lighting at all.
There's no disco lights, there's no strobes, there's no, you're not gonna have a rave up there.
Well, there is a soffit right here. There's a there's a soffit that's on the bulkhead that has
For the
like
kitchen.
two
LED,
hi-hats
probably LED.
For the
Recessed, yeah, yeah.
shine down.
Okay.
All right, are there any other questions from the board? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on this matter? Okay, please come up to the podium.
Good evening, everyone.
Have I sworn, I haven't sworn
You
you in.
haven't sworn me in.
Okay, are you an attorney?
No,
Okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
My name is William Leeds, 114 Edgemere Drive, 11968. I'm here on behalf of Chris and Lillian Severish. I'm a licensed architect, New York State. And the 18 cubic feet that's claimed here is more like 600 or 700 cubic feet. It's miscalculated. And it's not the first time on this project that the cubic footage has been miscalculated, as some of you may know. The builder submitted prior a survey. The board approved approximately 2,000 cubic feet initially in variance for the pyramid law. It actually turned out to be 11,448. So it's 11,448 according to the builder's submitted pyramid violation survey by a licensed surveyor, not by me. They provided that to the building department. So this is the second time that B&M Architects, who prepared the plans the first time and called out about approximately 2019, 98 or so. And they were incorrect because when the surveyor came, he comes back with 11,448. So now he's saying 18 cubic feet because he calculated the thickness of the glass. I mean, I've never heard of such a thing. That's 1 inch thick for a pyramid violation, by the height of the glass, by the length of the glass. So that makes no sense at all, and to even come here and waste everyone's time, it's shocking.
But I mean, to be fair, the building department did write it up this way, right? Like, the building department saw the plans, and they know the railings there, so I get what you're saying it, because we lived through this the last time, but the building department wrote this up.
No, that doesn't make sense, because the calculation of cubic volume is cubic volume. You can't calculate the volume of the glass itself and not the volume of the pyramid encroachment.
I understand what you're saying, and the last time these guys were here, they said if it's calculated differently, they'll have to modify it, so, I mean.
Last time I was here, I was told that the architect would come and present how he calculated the cubic volume. That was several weeks ago. And now you're coming back and saying that it's 18 cubic feet. That's impossible. It's more like 600 cubic feet. So, and it's also, things have gotten very expensive in the last 3-4 years, but it doesn't cost 178 grand to move 100 linear feet.
Can I
of
ask you,
rail.
you're saying it's 600 cubic feet
Closer to
because the glass is 1 inch thick?
No,
Are you
they
taking
calculate-
into account the mass of the glass?
It's a triangular piece, right, the pyramid. When it comes up 42 inches, right, then you have to come across to see how it violates the pyramid, which is coming at the other angle. Right, you got an angle like this.
Right.
You got the,
Yeah,
and then you got to come this way. So you gotta calculate that whole triangle. You don't just calculate that little 1-inch thick piece of glass.
You're saying the space in between the entire boxed-in glass should be incorporated in the calculation?
I've read the code here. That's how it gets calculated. You don't
So,
calculate just the
so
volume.
here's the issue I'm having. I thank you for coming, and, you know,
I don't
read
believe.
various case law and stuff. Our job, we're supposed to take expert testimony and accept that generally. We have conflicting expert testimony. We have occasions where really competent architects and really competent attorneys tell us this is what the number is that they need. And we just had a nice group of people that came in and said they got it wrong. So,
We also have to
let me
rely
just
upon our
finish.
building department.
So, I'm sorry?
We also have to rely upon our own building department.
One more time.
We also have to rely upon our own building department.
Right.
Who wrote this up with that number.
Oh, I understand that, but on occasion, those guys got it wrong. So I just want to be real sure that we have it right, whatever our decision is.
And can I just echo that, because this point of confusion keeps coming up, and I am not the expert. I'm not an architect, nor am I a builder, and I remain confused as a result of the conflicting expert testimony. And Bob, I fully appreciate that we are entitled to rely on our building department, but I would feel a heck of a lot better if our building department could look at something from the gentleman who's presenting, saying there's 600, give or take, actual pyramid encroachment, and get them to help us understand why that's wrong. Because I don't want to get it wrong.
It's not, that is,
wrong.
well, of course, that's our
They
position,
lined
it's
up
not
with
wrong.
Sean McDermott and us,
The building
few
permit was
times.
actually issued.
The building department, yes, was issued, let's not forget that. The building department reviewed this variance, said it's 18 cubic feet. The place to contest or refute that is not this board, but the building department. If we're wrong in what we asked for, then, and they are successful in arguing that with the building department will perhaps agree with them, although they haven't, and say, maybe you're right, you'd have to go back, ask for more relief. We are asking for 18 cubic feet. That's all we're asking this board to approve. If the number is wrong, and I hate to even entertain that, but if the number is wrong,
Not gonna get a CO.
then the building department is the arbiter of what relief is required.
I thought it's our job to interpret the code, and
No, that's the building department's job. Your job is to vary the code. It's a relief valve from the code.
Katie, what's your
Yeah,
thinking?
We only interpret the code on an appeal from their decisions.
right.
Correct.
And
That's not what we're here to do
The
today.
building department interpreted the code, looked at it, and said, you need 18 cubic feet of relief.
Right, except for I'm
Have you
hung up
approached
on the
building
fact that,
inspectors? I'm sorry, Julie, go ahead.
One question, though. I don't see another architect in the room.
He was here last time.
And I don't see an expert that's on the same licensed registration as I am. You're a lawyer, you're a builder, you're an owner. That's not correct to come here and say 18 cubic feet is what it
But
is.
the applicant, it's also not incumbent upon the applicant to dispute everything that you're saying. They don't have to go tit for tat for what you're saying. They've made an application, the building department has reviewed it, the applicant has said that they are happy to proceed with what has been identified by the building department and their architect. I understand you dispute it.
This is a
Worst case-
zoning issue. This is a
Not a
zoning
zoning
issue.
issue. They've identified how
I
much
don't-
pyramid relief they're asking
To
for.
me, it's a zoning issue.
I mean, we're getting way off track here.
Yeah.
May I say,
One second, Helen. Chris just wants to say something, and then you're next.
It is in all your files. On the 20th of June last year, Sean McDermott, Building Department, wrote a paragraph of how a violation of the pyramid has to be calculated. It's clear, it's in all the documents. I submitted it for the last meeting. June 20th, Sean McDermott gave us exactly how it has to be calculated.
Okay.
And the 18 cubic feet is just wrong, because 42 by 42 divided by half is a triangle, times 100 feet is about 650, 680 cubic feet. It's a very simple arithmetic.
Simple mathematical equation.
Okay, I understand how you're calculating it, but let me let Helen, go ahead, you wanted to say something.
I agree with Julie. I have a confusion as to, is it 18? I mean, that matters to me, whether it's 18 or is it 600 and some. And it is true that there is no architect being was called where I could see how they came up with 18 feet. I mean, I don't know, there's no architect in the building department who could show me the plans that would legitimately show it to be 18 feet. So I would like to have this case adjourned for Carl to bring an architect with plans that, and this architect who has presented today, whose name I can't remember, he can return with his documentation. And then I think that I would feel less confused, and hopefully Ms. Kane would also feel less confused.
Can I respond? Can I say something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
You know, with all due respect to Helen's position and to Julie's position, we are not here right now in order to determine which competing version of the pyramid law is the winner. We're not, the applicant is entitled to rely on the calculations made by the building department in this application. The building department is the arbiter, as far as I'm concerned, in this matter. And so, as the building department has determined, and look, if Sean McDermott...
He's wrong.
If Sean McDermott issued a memo, and I unfortunately do not have that memo in front of me, and I wish that if you were going to rely on that memo in today's, I mean, you certainly knew...
You've seen it. It was for the prior architectural feature.
Right, but I mean, if you were going, my point is that if you were going to rely on that in your argumentation today, which clearly you were prepared for, then that should have been, you should have brought that just in case we didn't have a copy of it in front of us. But I don't have it. What I'm saying is it's not in front of me at this moment. And so the only point that I would make is that, you know, this so we have a memo from Sean McDermott, and then we have the calculation, which
Sean McDermott made.
is afterwards, after.
Sean McDermott did not make that calculation.
His department did.
His department did.
Did not make that calculation.
His department did under his guidance. And so,
That's the architect made that calculation.
But then they reviewed it, and that's what it was written up as. We're here to decide 18
the
feet.
problem, yeah, that's what you're missing, sir, is that the building department reviewed this again and decided that 18 cubic feet of relief was necessary. And so that's where we are at this point, and we're not in a position on this board, it's not within our purview to be determining how it is that the pyramid law, how it is that the pyramid encroachment is supposed to be calculated. We have to go by what the building department has given us.
Okay.
And so I think that to prolong this by bringing in competing architects and having a battle of the expert witnesses, I think it's superfluous to what we're doing here today.
John.
John.
Excuse me. The building department, Sean McDermott, is aware of this issue since 1 year. And since 1 year, purposefully, Sean McDermott and the building department is miscalculating the total pyramid violation of this building, which is 11,000 something cubic feet, and not the 1,900 that the board approved.
Sir,
So can I just say, excuse
It's
me?
my case. Can I speak? If we
Go
grant
ahead.
the 18 feet and Sean McDermott is aware of all this, he's not going to issue the CO. So your argument is with Sean McDermott, not with us in the 18 feet. We're not here about hot tubs, we're not here about showers, we're not here about bathrooms. We're here about 18 feet, that's it.
But you
If
wanna
Sean
prove it.
McDermott is aware of all this and you're dealing with him on it, he's then not going to issue the CO if he deems you to be correct.
See, and the place for you, sir, hold on. The place for you to be having the argument that you want to have right now is if you had appealed his determination.
I cannot appeal Sean McDermott's
Why not?
play in this. I wasn't even allowed to come back to the zoning board to complain about this since a year now.
We have
I'm on
now
the-
neighbors who appealed determinations made by the zoning board, by the building department all the
Sean
time.
McDermott, I had 8
You could
meetings,
have brought,
8 meetings with Sean McDermott, with a lawyer, with Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott always said, I look at it, he ordered the as-built survey from the builder.
Okay, so you're asking us to do what Sean McDermott wouldn't do.
Sorry?
You're asking us to do what Sean McDermott wouldn't do.
No, I
You had 8
asked
meetings with him, he
you-
didn't buy your argument.
and you're asking,
I'm telling you, I don't think it's.
and you're
not
asking us
right
to consider an
to
appeal of
approve
Sean
a
McDermott's
variance.
determination without having ever filed it.
Right.
What?
That's,
Having filed an application for an appeal. So we can't do that. This, it's like,
The zoning board now want to approve a false number of cubic feet,
according to you.
not according to me.
So John,
so-
let me.
Can I just let
you know what?
Julie, can I let Julie speak, because she has been
Yeah,
holding.
I'm uncomfortable with the conversation and I'm uncomfortable with the record. I don't feel like I have sufficient information to make a judgment, which leaves me in a position to not want to approve. If I can get better clarification, and I fully appreciate, John and Bob, that you're saying this is a narrower question. For me, it's not narrow because I don't get the facts. I don't understand what's in front of me. And so somebody's going to need to do better if they want me to vote yes. That's just where I am.
Susan, may I say something?
Okay,
Susan?
I'd like to get a word in at some point. Go ahead, Helen.
Never.
I have a concern about the transparency of this application. Because when I look at the documents, his Exhibit C, and I see everything that they are representing, having this, and this. I know there are members who say it doesn't matter what's on the deck, but they say in the last sentence, plans and permit are in place to commence construction. No, I don't know. Is there permits? I didn't hear that Mr. Benacasa said he already got permits to do.
You got permits?
He's got permits. We're waiting on the CO. We're here because the building
has
department
permits,
said,
Helen.
oh, we issued a permit for this, but we realize now, before you get your CO, that you need 18 cubic feet of relief. It was all built to permit, everything there.
All right, Kevin, and then I'm gonna.
No, you go now.
No, go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, I'll be quick. So we're having an argument about what the number is, putting the number aside. Does the screening mitigate in any material way some of the concern that underlies the base conversation that we're having about what the number is? Because in the end, really, what we're talking about is, all other issues aside, if we were to deny it, and the glass railway was just moved in 3 feet, everything else is staying the same. And whether the screening is there or not is sort of an open question. And we're kind of right back where we are, just 3 feet in. So the question then becomes, operationally, to address your concerns, does the screening mitigate any of the major issues here, not without giving away and giving up your main position?
Yeah. I think the screening adds more elements to be outside of the pyramid. To move the railing in, like the railing is 42 inches high. So move the railing in, at least on our side, 42 inches, so people don't stand on the railing or behind the bush and look into our bedrooms. That might be like a mitigating element. And then they can still put bushes in front of it, but move the railing, no bushes, and move the railing 42 inches so it's inside the pyramid. Very simple.
So I mean, the relief, so now we're having a conversation about it. It's going to be there. The question is it going to be 42 inches further off the edge?
Well, it makes
Right.
a difference of somebody standing
36
here
inches off
and
the
looking
edge. It's only
into
3
our
feet.
bedrooms here,
I-
or somebody standing over here.
No, I understand that. I'm trying to isolate the issues, right? We had a big argument about what's the number.
I think that's a completely unreasonable position.
Yeah, I think,
From
I don't
the-
think it's gonna
from
make
the
a difference in 3
neighbor.
feet. If that- your
I'm
concern is
sorry,
looking at
but
your
I have
bedroom,
to-
I think that argument
I have to
fails.
be very
3 feet is
honest.
not gonna have any effect at all.
That is a
At all.
completely unreasonable
you just don't want
position,
it
and
there,
I
and that's
think,
what you hear about.
and I think that demonstrates
all
that the
respect,
neighbor, hold on a minute. I think that demonstrates that the neighbor has an axe to grind
Correct.
that is different from what they're saying that it is. Your concern, sir, was your privacy. They are agreeing to put up 6-foot vegetative screening that would eliminate the privacy issue that you raised. And now you're telling us that we should require these people to spend $200,000 to move the railing and remove the vegetative screening with the idea that people aren't going to peep in your bedroom. I think that's an unreasonable position.
Can I just say something? I know everybody else has had a chance. And John was just talking about the planters. I mean, when you're talking about putting these trees in, are you obstructing their ability to get to the glass?
Absolutely.
All right. So there would be
There was a
no
way
ability
stand
for
on
them
it.
to stand on the other side of the trees and look down into your, so that it deals with the privacy issue that John's been talking about. I think that the other thing that John makes a really good point about, and it's also been by Bob as well, is that if you wanted to appeal the calculation of the, what the building department has submitted to us, I mean, we rely upon the building department to give us the information. If you wanted to appeal that, you should have appealed the building department determination.
Well, you still can.
And you still can.
right.
Once
And,
the-
and
once
that's
the CO is
where,
issued. Correct.
and that's where that's where the argument would become,
Correct.
how do we calculate the pyramid relief? Not on the basis of, he's come forward with 18 cubic feet of relief that he's requesting, and you as a neighbor are making a comment about that. So what's before us is the 18. If you want to appeal the business department, the building department's decision, then that's a different appeal, and Katie can tell you.
Well, yes, well, that's what I was gonna say.
Then tell me,
Yeah, or
let me ask you,
let Katie
can I
describe
ask
it.
you a simple question?
Yeah.
Is the building department allowed to override a decision by the zoning board of appeals?
No, the other way around.
No, I mean,
No.
now,
But the building department
well,
did.
if you feel that in fact the building department has made an error, that's what we're talking about. And you
I have a
have to
file.
go to the building
My
department.
correspondence with the building department
have
is a
Yeah,
file
but you
this
have to
big.
file with us an appeal. So Katie,
Right.
just explain
not
that.
allowed
Well,
to.
wait, Chris, let her
Just a
explain it for a
moment.
second.
Well, I'm not gonna give you legal advice. I
No,
represent
but
the
you,
board.
but you
Yes,
said what
no,
the
but
process is.
Yes. Neighbors can always appeal any final determination made by the building department. At this point, this has just come up to the zoning board. The building department looked at not the application, but the building permit that was issued, and it was issued in error because of the pyramid violation. The building department, Art Gerhauser wrote this up. You can see here. Art wrote what the variance is required, 18 cubic feet. He put a little note down there, which means he had some comments on this. If the board is inclined to grant the variances, they will take the variances, go to the building department, and a certificate of occupancy presumably will be issued if everything else is on board, and then you can appeal the issuance of the certificate of occupancy, and you can say, there's a huge
They made an
pyramid
error.
encroachment.
They made an error in the
There's a time frame.
calculation.
Let me ask you a question. I sent actually everything I sent to the building department, I sent copies of it to the zoning board of appeals. I was told I could not appeal to the zoning board because the case was closed.
Well, we're telling you what
only-
you can do now, so it really doesn't make sense for us to rehash what you sent and what you have. We're not deciding it here. You have recourse. Katie just told you what that recourse is. Now let's move on.
I think.
Well,
Let's
I
move
think we're
on.
gonna-
Let's just move on,
I think
please.
what's clear is
So,
that,
Katie, may I ask you a question? If hypothetically, sounds like it's extremely hypothetical, but if hypothetically, the board did not approve the applicant's request, when the matter, if the applicant were to sue the board, and maybe, I don't know whether I should be asking you legal advice in front of God and the world, but anyway.
I think not, Julie.
Okay, scratch that I'll talk to you separately.
Scratch that.
Do that separately.
Yeah, I think so.
Talk
All
about
right.
Article 7.
I mean,
We
you-
gotta- Look, you know, we're gonna have to move off the dime on this. And the way, we've given you a way to proceed. And the way to proceed is if we grant this variance of 18 cubic feet, and you object to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy based on that calculation, then you must appeal to us, and, you know, and that's how we will hear the arguments. In the meantime, the mitigating circumstances are no lighting, no music, no, you know, outdoors.
No
No amplifications. We're gonna put the screening, it's gonna be planters, so there's no access to the actual wall.
How deep are the planters? Do we have any idea?
Well, you're going to need something specific.
We need a whole planting
Yeah.
plan.
Planting, but I believe it's about, they're about 2.5,
Okay.
3 feet.
Okay.
It should be 3 feet.
3 feet.
Yeah.
One quick thing, I mean, as, I'm a landscape architect as well as architect, very difficult to grow things on the roof by the ocean, by the bay there, right off the bay.
Well, they're
To keep
required
that
to maintain
alive.
it.
Well, that's going to be their challenge.
That's their problem.
And if they have to spend
one
money-
dies, they gotta replace it.
Okay.
If they have to spend money, they're going to have to spend
It's
money.
a spec house.
It's gonna be a condition of the variance, and they're gonna have to maintain it.
Yeah.
Just look at it, I mean.
Okay,
I think it looks nice.
Nice.
okay, we're
thank
gonna
you.
have to move on, and thank
you.
you very much for your
But
testimony.
I hope you understand that I've been working on this. I'm trying to defend the law that's on the books, and if this is the end of it, then I really feel I have spent 3 years of my life and a lot of money. I did the things the way I was told to do, and now I feel like.
Sir,
I'm
you still have
set up.
recourse. No, you haven't been set up. You know what,
Another
sir?
cranky neighbor, John,
Just
okay?
a moment, though. Just a
Watch
moment,
what you
though.
say, please.
Just a moment, though. I don't appreciate you accusing us of setting you up. I don't think that's fair. I think we have been fair with all sides, and I think that you have recourse. You just haven't been going about it the right way because you didn't understand what your rights were. Now you do, so let's move on.
Okay, and, you know, I think we've given you a pathway if you wanna go forward on this.
So,
And, okay, and I appreciate you
You'll
have
figure
put a
that
lot
out.
of, you put a lot of
Hire an
information out,
attorney.
and we've read it all. So, okay, so let's,
This is mine.
this is yours. We're gonna need, you know, a planting plan. We're gonna need
Written sub.
written also that you're giving up the outdoor amplification, and
Ah.
no lights, and, you know, some of the other things. And that should be submitted to us as a written.
I'll submit a
Yeah.
letter outlining all the conditions.
How quick can you
3
get a
foot
land-
planters, 6-foot
How quick can you get a
foliage.
landscape plan?
Working
Maintaining,
on a landscape.
and maintenance and the whole thing, so.
And let us know what kind of foliage you're intending to put
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
and it should be something that
Evergreen.
can, something evergreen that will survive in a planter.
Yeah.
And go on the plant, it's already been planted on the property line.
Which is,
Hundreds.
I know, but it's,
50 of
but
them.
it's elevated, and it's gonna
No,
get the sea breeze and the
It's
sea
have to grow 6
spray.
feet
and-
tall, so it's gotta be a
Okay.
substantial evergreen.
Well, you know what we're saying, we need to have more specifics on it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure you've got the votes on the board, so I don't want you to walk away thinking, you know, well, we got the board, because there's been some clear concern by some of the board members, but I think that
Get a survey. It
we
depends on
should
the
get this
survey.
information and then proceed.
I give
Yeah.
them-
I agree.
Make one more request. The
Okay.
Reference was made to some outdoor lighting that's going to be dark sky compliant,
No, they're not gonna
please.
have
not
outdoor
gonna have
lighting.
Well,
Just a
no.
little bit by the outdoor.
Under the
Oh,
railing.
it's under the soffit, under the kitchen.
But, I mean,
Absolutely.
right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Recess lighting in a soffit.
That
It's
should be in your
gonna
letter
point
to us.
down.
Dark
Yeah,
skies.
okay.
Move to close the meeting, hold it open for written submissions to 11/7 with a decision on 11/20.
Second.
Mr. Mastoni.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Redhand.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Aye, chair votes aye. Okay, thank you, gentlemen, thank you.
Sorry, guys. What's that? I thought it was off.
Particular form, how I deal with.
And I thank all of you for your time.
Thank you.
Call me tomorrow.
Good luck with
Yep.
everything. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Carl.
In the town attorney's office. Yep, I'm usually here by 8.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Sorry about all this.
No.
We don't take personal. We don't.
I didn't
And you
build this house.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, turning to number 13 on the agenda, secret resolution in the application of 2297 Montauk LLC, 2297 Montauk Highway, Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-86-1-3.
Okay, do we have these? Who's got the secret?
What are we doing? We're doing decisions?
Have them? Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Does it? Okay, I guess I'll be reading these. I have a secret resolution in connection with the application of Joseph Frederick Gaza and Blair Catherine Gaza. Whereas the zoning board of appeals has received a request and submittals.
No, I called 2297.
He called 2297, they're not in.
Sorry, not in right order. It's been a long meeting. Okay. I have a resolution in connection with the application of 2297 Montauk LLC. Whereas the zoning board of appeals has received a request and submittals for variances in connection with the application of 2297 Montauk LLC for property located at 2297 Montauk Highway, Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-86-1-3. And whereas, after a review of the documents submitted, the zoning board of appeals found that this project is an unlisted action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, and a coordinated review with the following involved agencies: Southampton Town Planning Board, Suffolk County Department of Health Services, and New York State Department of Transportation. And whereas on August 15, 2025, the ZBA received a response from the Southampton Town Planning Board indicating that they would like to assume lead agency status in connection with the SECRA review of this project. Now therefore be it resolved that the Southampton Town ZBA hereby agrees that the Southampton Town Planning Board should assume lead agency status with regards to the application of 2297 Montauk LLC pursuant to 6 New York CRR Section 617.6B, and further be it resolved that the board directs that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the aforementioned involved agencies.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald. Ms. Burgess. Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Okay, chair votes aye.
Okay, number 14 on the agenda, secret resolution in the application of 911 Flanders Road LLC and 39 Flanders Road LLC, 911 Flanders Road LLC, 911 Flanders Road and 39 Flanders Road, Riverside, Suffolk County Tax Map numbers 900-138-2-31, 32, and 33.
Letting Bob read this one. Yeah, go ahead.
Secret resolution in connection with the application of 911 Flanders Road LLC and 39 Flanders Road LLC. Whereas the zoning board of appeals has received a revised request together with submittals for variances in connection with the application of 911 Flanders Road LLC, 39 Flanders Road LLC for property located at 911 and 39 Flanders Road, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-138-2-31, 32, and 33. Whereas after review of the document submitted to the zoning board found that projects is a unlisted action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, and coordinated review of the following agencies: the Southampton Town Planning Board, Suffolk County Department of Health Services, New York State Department of Transportation, Long Island Central Pine Barrens Joint Planning Commission, Suffolk County Department of Public Works, and New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. Whereas the Southampton Town Planning Board, by resolution adopted August 28, 2025, indicated that they would like to assume lead agency status in connection with the secret review of this project, and therefore it is resolved that the Southampton Town ZBA hereby agrees that the Southampton Town Planning Board should assume lead agency with the status regards to the 911 Flanders Road LLC, 39 Flanders Road LLC pursuant to 6 New York Code Rules and Regulations, Section 617.6B, and it is further resolved that this board directs that a copy of the resolution be forwarded to the aforementioned involved agencies.
Second.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. I
Number
have-
15 on the agenda, secret resolution in the application of Joseph Frederick Gaza and Blair Catherine Gaza. No,
You read that one.
You can read it.
what's the,
It's just the
what's
tax
the-
map numbers.
okay, tax map, Quiog, tax map, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-359- 1-22.1 and 22.6, and 900-359-2-9.1 and 10.1. Whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals has received a request and submittals for variances in connection with the application of Joseph Frederick Gaza and Blair Catherine Gaza for properties located in Queog at Suffolk County Tax Map numbers 900-359-1-22.1 and 26.1, and Suffolk County Tax Map numbers 900-359-2-9.1 and 10.1. And whereas, after a review of the documents submitted, the Zoning Board of Appeals found that this project is an unlisted action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, and coordinated review with the following involved agencies: the Southampton Town Planning Board, Suffolk County Department of Health Services, and the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. And whereas the Southampton Town Planning Board, by resolution adopted on September 11, 2025, indicated that they would like to assume lead agency status in connection with the SECRA review of this project, now therefore be it resolved that the Southampton Town ZBA hereby agrees that the Southampton Town Planning Board should assume lead agency status with regards to the application of Joseph Frederick Gaza and Blair Catherine Gaza pursuant to 6 NYCRR Section 617.6B, and be it further resolved that this board directs that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Southampton Town Planning Board, Suffolk County Department of Health Services, and the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redhand.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. John, I'll take that back.
Okay.
Fill it out.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Okay, Bob, you've got the first one, the amended decision. That's the order I have, is that
Not
okay?
doing the clarification.
Yeah,
Okay,
usually
number
John-
16. This is the amended decision on 192.
Usually John reads it.
John needs to read the.
Oh,
I gotta read the thing, okay, read the paragraph first.
all right, John, go ahead, read the
For the
paragraph.
decisions?
On the amended decision.
Oh, yeah, John's doing this, okay.
Oh, there's an amended,
Number 16.
I thought they were the same.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought they were the same.
You know what, you don't have, it's not on here. That's the problem.
I
It
have
was
it on
on the
mine.
original, it's not on this one.
I have enough.
Yeah, number 16, though.
Here you go.
It's not on the,
Good thing I
my
came in.
copy.
Yes, it is.
So that's my fault.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a clarification amendment, 16 on the agenda, a clarification amendment in the application of 7-Eleven Incorporated, 192 West Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-221-3-17. On July 21st, 2022, by decision number D022075, this board granted variances for a proposed dual-pole freestanding sign. This decision is being amended to reflect that the proposed sign has been changed to a freestanding monument sign as requested by the Town Planning Board, Resolution ID number 50404, July 24, 2025.
Second.
All right, well, so no, so that's,
We have to discuss.
yeah, you got to request to, this is kind of like that last one we had recently where the planning board, the board had granted variances and then the planning board had switched it around a little bit. So this was basically, you guys granted a variance for a freestanding dual pole sign, the planning board prefers the monument sign. If the board is okay with that, I just prepared the modification to swap out the type of sign, but the setbacks still remain the same, the colors, the lighting, whatever was
Do you need a motion?
And this is on the 7-Eleven application.
in Hampton
Hampton
Bays,
Bays.
which was a
Yes, right.
while
Oh,
ago,
okay.
in 2022.
Right,
Okay.
and I don't have a problem with it. Does anybody have a problem
No.
with it? Okay.
Okay, so then
So,
Bob
Bob,
has
go
that.
ahead.
So now read the amended decision.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
please.
This is the amended decision in the matter of 7-Eleven Inc., Suffolk County Tax Map 900-221-3-17. On July 21st, 2022, by decision number decision number D022075, this board granted variances for a proposed dual-pole freestanding sign. Subsequently, the planning board modified the design to a monument-style sign that is consistent with the variances granted by this board, but requires an amendment to refer to a freestanding monument sign instead of a dual-pole freestanding sign. As such, ZBA decision D022075 is hereby amended to reflect that the variances are granted for a freestanding monument sign as shown on the monument sign install and footing detail prepared by Taki Kawaja, professional engineer, last revised October 2nd, 2025.
Second.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, I have a decision in Todd and Michelle Neufeld, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-43-1-52. This application is for property located at 52 Scotts Landing Road, North Sea. Applicant seeks variances for a proposed pool on a lot burdened by wetlands. After discussion with the board that the initial location of the proposed pool within the required side yard was not in keeping with the character of the neighborhood, the applicants modified the plans and relocated the proposed house, which allowed the pool to be moved out of the required yard. As revised, this board finds that the application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from Town Code Section 330-6, General Regulations, that references Town Code Section 330-11, Resident Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations, for an accessory front lot line setback of 42.1 feet, where 50 feet is required for a proposed pool, and 2, Town Code Section 330-84D, Pyramid Law, for a pyramid encroachment in the amount of 1,180.58 cubic feet for a proposed dwelling, as shown on the survey prepared by Paul Borelski, last dated September 9, 2025, and the volume calculations and elevation pyramid diagrams prepared by Brian Glazer, R.A., last dated September 10, 2025. The grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises, including that the applicant and all successors in interest must install and maintain vegetative screening as shown on the proposed vegetative screening plan prepared by Spatial Arts, last dated September 16, 2025.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well,
Supposed to reopen that for written submissions.
okay, so
So going back, we're going
We'll reopen it
to,
and
we're
then
gonna
we already got a
reopen
decision
it,
yet.
close it, and then
and
just
just vote again.
vote again. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll move to reopen the application, the hearing on the application of Todd Neufeld and Michelle Neufeld, 52 Scotts Landing Road, North Sea, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-43-1-52.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redpath?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Oh, I didn't say for written submission.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, and I move to close the hearing on the application of Todd Neufeld and Michelle Neufeld for decision tonight.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redpath?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
One.
Ms.
Are there any
Burgess?
others?
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, and now we're going to move to approve what was just read, and let's
Second.
take it, all right,
Second.
all right. Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redpath?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
O'Neill?
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, done.
Oh, anyone
Okay.
Are you waiting for one in particular?
Just for clarification, I was here for the Joe Gaza, for Frederick Gaza, the number 15 thing. I was just here because I'm one of the concerned parties.
Okay, well, it was only a
So
secret.
I have a bunch of people texting me going, what the hell?
No, it was just a secret resolution, so we didn't discuss the application at all.
I'm sorry, say that again?
It's a secret resolution, which says that which is gonna be the lead agency that's gonna look into the environmental
Is
concerns.
that gonna be the planning board?
Yes.
or-
Yes.
Okay, so it's gonna get.
It's gonna go back to the planning board.
Back to planning.
Yeah, yeah.
But it
So-
does come back to us, do you know when?
December.
Comes back to
Yes.
us,
December 4th.
Yeah,
it's back before this board, December 4th.
So we will,
Term, so it's just the secret thing is going back to the planning board, but the variance actually that he was looking
Stays
for
here.
is coming back on
Yeah.
December 4th?
Yep.
Yes.
correct,
Okay.
okay?
We're
So
we're
now
sorry if you sat
So
there
now
all
you don't
night.
have to sit through anything.
Well, I was just being respectful of you guys, I was waiting for you to finish, and then I was gonna. So-
I'm glad Katie, called you out on that
Yeah,
because
thank you.
Yeah.
sorry about that. Next time, let
I was
Candace.
learning a lot.
Okay,
Have a good night.
all right, Kevin, you're up.
Yep. So I move to adopt a resolution regarding the application of Michael J. Taylor and Christine A. London, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-368-2-52. This application is for a property located at 151 South Country Road, Remsenburg. Applicant seeks variances to legalize a covered side porch with an on an undersized and narrow non-conforming lot. While the board does not condone construction without permits, the porch is well screened. The board finds the application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and New York State Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the Town Code Section 330-6 General Regulations that references Town Code Section 330-11 Residence District Table of Dimensional Regulations for a principal total side yard of 28.3 feet where 60 is required, and a principal minimum side yard of 12 feet where 20 feet is required, to legalize a covered side porch as shown on a survey prepared by Angelo Joseph Cesari, last dated September 22nd, 2025, and the floor plans and elevation pyramid diagrams prepared by William Frederick Hine, last dated September 29th, 2025. The grant of this foregoing relief is subject to to other such conditions and permits as applicants have already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises, including that the applicant and all successors in interest maintain the existing screening and vegetation.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redpath?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, John.
Okay, so I'm going to have a few reopens. Well, the next three, so before we move to them, let me do that.
let's do
So I move to reopen the application of, reopen the hearing on the application of Matthew and Tracy Marafi, 79 Inlet Road West, Shinnecock Hills, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-176-1-6 for written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia? Mr. Redpath?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, I move to close the hearing on the application of Matthew and Tracy Marafi for decision tonight.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redpath?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, so I have the decision in the application of Matthew and Tracy Marafi, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-176-1-6. This application is for property located at 79 Inlet Road West, Shinnecock Hills. Applicants seek variances for a proposed two-story dwelling on a narrow, non-conforming waterfront lot burdened by wetlands. After modifying the application twice to reduce the pyramid encroachment and eliminate the variance requested for the proposed AC units, this application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the Town Code. For a proposed two-story dwelling on a non-conforming lot, Section 330-115C, continuance for total side yards of 18.8 feet where 19.6 feet is existing. Section 330-84D, pyramid law for a total pyramid encroachment of 2,640.3 cubic feet, 585 cubic feet, 20 square feet on the west side, and 2,055.3 cubic feet, 51 square feet on the east side. And Section 330-11, Residence District's Table of Dimensional Regulations for principal rear yard setback of 26.7 feet where a minimum of 60 feet is required. 2, for a proposed one-story deck attached to the dwelling, relief from Town Code Section 330-11 for an accessory side yard setback of 4 feet where 10 feet is required, and Section 330-76D, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts, and Section 330-83C, yards, to allow the deck to be located within the required minimum side yard and total required side yard setback for the principal building. The granting of relief is as shown on the site plan, floor plans, and elevations pyramid diagrams prepared by Todd O'Connell, architect, last dated September 18, 2025. The grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises, including 1, renewing any permit that has expired, and 2, that erosion and sediment control measures be implemented during and immediately after construction to ensure that stormwater runoff will not carry eroded or other deleterious materials into Cold Spring Pond Inlet.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redpath?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
No.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay. Move to reopen the hearing on the application of Jesse and Stephanie O'Neill for 3 Wayne Court, West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-357-3-61 for written submissions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redhand?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
I move to close the hearing on the application of Jesse and Stephanie O'Neill for decision tonight.
Mr.
I was accused of this one, so I don't.
Oh, okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Redhand?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, so now we're going to actually do it.
Now we have
right?
the decision.
Julie, do you have the decision?
I don't have it, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to ask John to read it then. Come on, John. Oh, he's got it.
Ah, he's moaning.
We were getting coffee 5:30 this morning, John. 6 o'clock. I was late.
All right, you can read it. He's got to get his glasses on.
I put them away.
Yeah.
Okay, for a decision for Jesse and Stephanie O'Neill, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-357-3-61. This application is for property located at 3 Wayne Court, West Hampton. Applicant requests variance for a proposed second-story addition on a constrained non-conforming lot. It responds to questions from board and neighbors. The applicant modified the ridge heights to all eaves comply with the lot coverage and placement within required yards, and reduce the proposed pyramid encroachment from 640.3 cubic feet to 82.86 cubic feet. As modified, this board finds the applicant passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed second-story addition, Town Code 330-6, General Regulations, the reference Town Code 330-11, Residence District Table of Dimensional Regulations for a principal rear yard setback of 36.8 feet where 60 feet is required, and principal front yard setback of 29.8 feet where 40 feet is required, for a roofline change to create attic storage, and Town Code 330-84D, Pyramid Law for a total sky plane encroachment in the amount of 82.86 cubic feet, 78.13 cubic feet to the west, and 4.73 cubic feet to the east, as shown on the plot plan last dated August 26, 2025, and the floor plans and elevation last dated August 26, 2025, all prepared by Louis Loria, R.A. The grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Redhand?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
I'm recused.
Oh, recused, I'm sorry. Mr. McDonald?
No.
Ms. Burgess? Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Ellen voted no.
Okay. I move to reopen the application of, the hearing on the application of Emily Brandt and Eric Petra, 24 Dock Road, Spionk, Remsenburg, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-366-1-7.4 for written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Redhand?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
I move to close the hearing on the application of Emily Brandt and Eric Petra for decision tonight.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redhand?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, and I have a decision in the application of Emily Brandt and Eric Petra, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-366-1-7.4. This application is for property located at 24 Dock Road, Spionk, Remsenburg. Applicants request variances to convert a pre-existing barn into an accessory apartment on a non-conforming lot, with the pre-existing dwelling boasting a modest 711 square feet of habitable space and the apartment proposed wholly within the pre-existing barn. The board finds that this application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed accessory apartment on a non-conforming lot. 1, Town Code Section 330-11.2F, Special Standards, to allow an accessory apartment to be located on a parcel with a lot area of 32,670 square feet where 48,000 square feet is required, 80% of the required 60,000 square feet. For a principal front yard setback of 14.8 feet where 56 feet is required, 70% of the required 80 feet. For an accessory side yard setback of 17.6 feet where 21 feet is required for the barn, 70% of the required 30 feet, and for an accessory side yard setback of 19.3 feet where 21 feet is required for the garage, 70% of 30 feet. And 2, Town Code Section 330-11.2G, Special Standards, Minimum and Maximum Sizes for a 1,160 square foot accessory apartment that is 163% of the main dwelling where a maximum of 35% is permitted, 249 square feet, and to allow the accessory apartment to be 1,160 square feet where a maximum of 1,000 square feet is allowed. These variances are granted as shown on the survey prepared by Pat Secafico, LS, revised April 25, 2025, and the floor plans and elevations prepared by James Curtis, R.A., dated May 7, 2025. The grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redpath?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Is there a motion to close?
Motion to close. Second.
Excuse me, that's you have to go back and call number 10 and adjourn it.
Oh, that's right, that's right. What date in January?
January
15th? Okay.
All right, so hold
Number
on.
10. Okay. So, calling number 10 on the agenda, application of Watermill Building Supply Realty Inc. LLC, 1110 Montauk Highway, Watermill, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-102-1-17.1. I move to adjourn the hearing on this application to January 15th, 2026.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Redpath?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Is there,
Motion to close.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.